You are now watching the Ball and Beats podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Ball and Beats podcast. This is a very special episode for you all. It is our final episode here in this beautiful TV studio. Spencer, how are we doing, sir?
Good. I'm good. We have a jam-packed episode for our last one, I'll tell you that. We
Yes,
got a ton that we missed with the draft. We've just kind of been sidetracked with that, but we got a ton to talk about.
We do have a ton to talk about. We have some returning friends throughout this episode. Here to start off, we got Christian and Andrew with us. Guys, how are you doing?
Doing well. Happy to be here. What number is this? What episode number?
137.
137. Not a shameless plug, but I had the Christian show, the last Christian show on Monday, episode 41. So we share odd numbers being our last episode.
Absolutely. And Andrew?
Yeah, 137. It's a lot of hours you guys put in. That's, but thanks. Hello. Thanks for having me today.
I also just realized the people that are on the panel are all going to be graduating.
We are all graduating seniors.
Yeah,
Look at
man.
us walking across the stage.
Saturday, 9 a.m.
Pop the champagne.
I know,
Yeah.
9
9
a.m.,
a.m.
man,
Love
like-
it.
Wild.
Which means we got to get there at 8
Yeah,
or
8.
something.
Isn't
like
it
that?
8,
It's
8:15? We got to
egregious.
meet in the
Yes.
practice
It's
field or
egregious,
whatever?
man.
I haven't
It's
gotten any
egregious.
emails about that.
That's not good.
Homie's not graduating.
Bro's not graduating.
No, I
not
swear
graduating.
I
Did you
have.
register to graduate?
Oh yeah, I have my
Did you get,
cap and
your
gowns.
tickets?
Oh, yeah, I got to get that.
No, I haven't got my
money.
tickets or
Oh,
anything.
okay. Well,
Well,
I got
Andrew looks like
mine.
you're.
All right.
Andrew looks like he's staying here
he
for another
said
year.
One more
So
year.
really, it's just us three graduating. Actually,
No, I'll drop out. I swear.
You'll drop out. All right. Well, to start off this segment here today and this show, we're gonna talk something we haven't talked about recently because we've been too focused on the NFL draft and everything. Which, of course, we're gonna recap after this segment. But NBA playoffs have been going,
Basketball gimmick.
and the Lakers in 5. Shannon Sharp said it was Lakers in 5 always, right? Well, he's got a lot of other problems he's got to worry about because it was Timberwolves in 5. Let's start off talking about that series. Let's kick it down to our basketball expert and Andrew Homan.
Yeah.
What went wrong for the Lakers?
Well, I think it was a very tumultuous season for them with the AD trade. I think that it was a culmination of a lot of things that came to fruition with them, and I think the AD trade probably affected them more than it was seen to the eye, obviously. And then Luka comes in and he's been really good, but it's the age-old question of how would Steph and LeBron play together. Obviously, Steph and Luka are two different players, but it doesn't always work out, and they don't have big man depth. And Rudy Gobert, as much as people would like to say that he's not a good player, the dude's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. He's got several Defensive Player of the Year awards. He has multiple playoff wins. He's a really good player in some really good spots. And then you go on to the Timberwolves, and yes, I still don't agree with the Karl Anthony Towns trade, especially in that spot. He was a Timberwolf, that was their franchise. But they gave the keys to Anthony Edwards, and he's still that guy. He's like Jimmy in a way that he plays better in the playoffs.
Yep.
And Julius Randle really surprised me.
He played.
He
really well
has
this
played
series.
so well, and with the playoffs, it's a different type of basketball because in the regular season, it's playing freely. You get these certain opportunities. It's a lot of playing free, but in the playoffs, it's a lot of sets basketball. Half court offense really wins you games, and that's exactly what they did last night. They picked apart the Lakers to a point in the half court offense where the Lakers couldn't get transition points. So some of those guys that are a little smaller that the Lakers play couldn't get out in the fast break. And, Luka can't do his things all the time in that half-court offense, So Julius Randle, though, was awesome. And they put Luka on him for some reason because who else is Luka going to guard? I would have put him on Mike Conley. But, who am I? And Julius just took him to work. ISO'd him on the side of the floor and just took him. And that's what they did, and they did it to them all series long, and the Lakers are going to have to regroup them. I mean, the Timberwolves looking good. I mean, I think now you can kind of say as long as you have a guy next to Anthony Edwards, they can probably go far. And I really like their coach in Chris Finch, too.
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers. What went wrong? Nico Harrison was right, Spencer, huh?
Well, I'm not gonna say that yet because Luka Doncic is still one of the best players in all of basketball. But I will say though, he was terrible defensively this entire series. I mean, he got eaten alive by the Timberwolves. Also got Dante DiVincenzo is another player that has been doing really good things for the Timberwolves. But my biggest thing is, man, the Knicks need him. The Knicks miss him. He had his best season with the New York Knicks last year, and he just loved New York, and then he got traded, and it was a huge trade. But I think that my biggest takeaway is the Timberwolves are more balanced. They have a better center. They actually have a center, I should say that. The Lakers have nobody playing the five.
Yeah.
And while you have superstars and LeBron James, who we don't know about the future of him now, and Luka Doncic, and then you have Austin Reeves and Roy Hachimura, they don't have a five, and they don't have a bench either. Like, they have 4 stars. They have 2 superstars, a star, and a role player. And after that, it's nothing. The Lakers, if you're going to win in the playoffs, you need a lot more than that. And the Timberwolves have a balanced team, and while I agree with Andrew, I don't agree with the Cat trade. They look really good. The Timberwolves look really good, and right now, if the Warriors, close out in 6 against the Rockets, you'll have Warriors versus Timberwolves. I'll take the T-Wolves in that series, and you'll have the Timberwolves most likely against the Thunder in the conference finals. That'd be a fun finals, and I would not be surprised. And I know the Thunder are, playing unbelievable basketball right now. Came back from a 29-point deficit against the Grizzlies. I wouldn't take out the Timberwolves. Timberwolves are
Wouldn't
playing
take
with
them
a
out
fire
either.
right now.
I mean, we said last year on this podcast that Anthony Edwards has the talent to.
We had them beating
take him.
Dallas.
We did have them beating Dallas
last year.
Yeah, we did. We thought that Anthony Edwards here in his future. I mean, he's got superstar. I mean, he is a superstar already.
He backs
but he's
it up
got,
and he talks.
And the
That's
NBA.
the funniest
he's
part.
going to win a championship with Minnesota.
Yeah.
I think at some point in his career.
Yeah, I mean, coming into this series, I mean, the West. I don't know if you guys were following the West. Like going into the playoffs was like all super close, all over the place. And like I'm a huge LeBron fan. I root for the Lakers. I love LeBron. So I was just like hunting like which team would be the best matchup for the Lakers. And I thought coming in this series, Minnesota would be like their ideal matchup. Like they could have played the Clippers, which I mean, look now, like the Clippers probably would beat the Lakers. And coming in, I thought this would have been the Lakers' best chance to win a series, and I couldn't have been more wrong. Anthony Edwards, massive playoff riser, asserting himself. Like, I mean, right now, I'd take Edwards over Doncic. Right, like, I mean, just in terms of playoff performance.
Yeah.
I mean, the Timberwolves made the conference finals last year. Great series with Dallas, but like, I don't know. I think that this Timberwolves team has been overlooked, and now sort of like, I mean, obviously people took Anthony Edwards serious last year. This year, I mean, it's a whole new ball game. They're double teaming him every single possession, and I mean, this is a whole new Anthony Edwards, and I think he's a top 3 player in the league right now.
Do you think
Absolutely.
any of this has to do with coaching and experience with JJ Redick on the Lakers?
No.
I mean,
I don't.
like you guys said, this Lakers roster isn't built to win playoff series at all. I mean, like, and you can say like Luka and LeBron, that's enough, but like, I think the Timberwolves is probably the deepest team in the playoffs. And they're like you mentioned, their bench is fantastic, and the Lakers, like you mentioned, don't have a bench. So I don't know if coaching necessarily played as big a factor. You know, in Game 4, I think it was JJ played like all 5 guys all throughout the second half, didn't sub anyone out, and like I feel like he was forced to do that. Like he doesn't have anyone else who will
Trade them all away.
Yeah, give him any
it's true.
playoff solid playoff minutes. So I wouldn't blame JJ Redick for this yet.
Yeah, I would say, like you said, Luka doesn't play defense, and when you have superstars, they have to play defense in the playoffs. And I thought it was interesting last night when they won. Rudy Gobert said he's going to get his shots. If he plays defense, we win ball games, as in Anthony Edwards. Mm-hmm. And that's what he does. That's the difference between them right now.
Exactly.
And I think the big thing that Luka had a problem with is the big guy, because you look at guys like Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, who he has a real rim threat to be able to throw lobs because Luka can get into the paint, but if he's got his 5 standing in the corner at a 3-point line, there's no presence in the paint other than LeBron James.
Yeah.
And LeBron is 40 years old. You can't just have that. And they missed on Mark Williams.
They did.
Did
That
you
was
see
a
his
huge
Instagram
miss.
story?
Yeah, let's be
that was
honest with
funny.
ourselves. The Luka trade is fine, right? If they get Mark Williams.
Yes.
And they didn't. And now you have a guy like Dalton Connect who probably doesn't even want to play for them.
No.
And I wouldn't want to either.
Right.
So you have that disconnect on a team, and you have a team like the Timberwolves who, like you said, were overlooked, but that's because they had problems at the beginning of the year. And they were not good for a month. I think it was probably December. They weren't good. That's why they're the 6th seed. And while it was close, this team has gotten better. They've started to play together, and you've got veterans like Mike Conley on that team that keep it together. And Julius Randle has finally found his role, and that is a culmination of things. People wanted Lakers in 5. It was never going to happen. And I don't think it's on J.J. Redick, even though I do think Chris Finch is a better coach. He's been a good coach for years now, by the way. It was everything went right for the Timberwolves. Nothing went right for the Lakers.
Yeah.
And it was a deserved win for the Timberwolves. Lakers are going to have to regroup, and man, if you're LeBron, it's like it's got to happen now or else.
Yeah.
Does he have another year in him?
Yes.
I think
He probably has
I think-
5 more years
yeah,
if he really wanted to.
this Luka trade. I've heard people say it probably extended LeBron's career another like 3 years.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have to do as much. He
Correct.
can play off the ball. But you guys mentioned Timberwolves could play the Warriors next year. I wouldn't discount the Warriors either. I think this Draymond's playing great. I think
Jimmy.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
I think that Warriors could make the Western Conference
Yeah,
Finals.
and to your point about playoff Jimmy, they don't need playoff Jimmy.
They don't.
They don't. And guys like Moses Moody have been playing better and better. Quentin Post coming off of the bench is a really good threat from on the arc. He's a big guy, plays Sengun very well. Like, they have the pieces in place. And Gary Payton Jr., dude, is like the perfect player for Stephen Curry because he's the polar opposite. Can't really shoot, but he's just perfect for that team. And Jimmy is like the perfect guy to put around him because he doesn't need to get a bucket, but he can get a bucket. And he's always around the rim. He plays great defensively. And if you run into a team like the Rockets who have a little bit of edge with Dylan Brooks now and some young guys that aren't afraid to get scrappy, it's the perfect team for the Warriors because they feed off of that. And you can say what you want about Draymond Green, but he's a Hall of Fame player, and he is one of the best playoff in its entirety performers ever. I'm going to put that out there.
Yeah.
Game 7 in 2016 when they lost, he was the best player on that court for the Warriors the entire game. Mm-hmm. He was. And he is just it's perfect. And I'm interested to see where it goes because the Rockets did get one back last night, but it goes back to I was going to say the Oracle. God, I miss the Oracle. What a place.
Without the
Oracle was
Oracle.
on
But
you couldn't win
Ultimate
there.
aura.
it goes right. It goes back to the Warriors and they don't lose at home, man.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Draymond Green, 35 years old, playing some of the best basketball of his life. Game 4, he had that defensive play against Sengun on the last play.
Yes.
And just like watching that, that is classic Warriors. Like that just brought me back to like their dynasty. Like
Yeah.
just I feel like I don't know. Like, do you guys like the Warriors? Are you guys like rooting for them?
I kind of am.
I've always
I kinda
rooted
am.
for them, and I'm going to sound like, because a lot of people around this area love LeBron James. I was a huge LeBron James fan, and the decision in 2011 either split you one of two ways. You either love LeBron still or you hated him. And I don't quote-unquote hate him, but I always thought that it was stupid that he went on national television and, did that. I understand he's that caliber of a player, but, that ruined my vision of him forever.
Yep.
And
I'll tell you this. I think
I've always liked Stephen Curry.
he even come out. LeBron's came out and said that he kind of regrets how he did it because in his eyes he utilized it like his own decision for college.
Yeah.
Because he never went to college and everything, and I think he kind of got exploited in that process. LeBron.
Absolutely.
He regrets that big decision. He regrets
Yeah.
it big time. And you're right. I mean, 2 Akron-born boys.
Yeah.
Steph Curry. I mean,
Something in the
absolute
water.
baller. And this Warriors team, having Jimmy Butler. It kind of hurts how my series with the Cavs went with Miami.
Yeah.
Seeing
Talk about a team that needs to regroup, man.
Talk about you know what?
big
I'm
time
gonna be honest.
Eliminate the playoff
The
play-in
Heat,
tournament.
you're gonna have to start to think about like either blowing it up, or you got to go all in for Giannis, or you got to figure out what you're gonna do.
That's the thing with
The
Miami.
Heat, and in my opinion, the Heat got to rebuild.
Here's the thing about
But
the Heat.
Pat
though.
Riley doesn't like to rebuild.
Let me tell you this. This is what it is. Pat Riley's not that guy no more.
I think you're wrong.
Pat Riley's not that guy
Try
no
getting
more.
Dame.
I think you're wrong. I think
They need to make Eric Spoelstra the main person
GM.
over basketball
first off,
operations.
Eric Spoelstra is a top 2 coach in the NBA and
He
has
is.
been for more than a decade now.
Yes.
What the Heat are great at 2 things. The Heat are great at drafting. They
Yes.
always have been. You get Tyler Hero with the 13th pick.
Mhm.
Khalil Ware this past year with the 17th pick. He's still young. Bam Adebayo.
If he would have played
with-
all season, he might have won Rookie of
like
the Year.
that's what they do is they draft really well and they develop guys that don't get drafted or
Yes.
are not great.
Right.
What about Davion Mitchell getting like thrown to the curb by the Kings? Now he's
And
back.
David,
playing
yeah, I
great.
mean, yeah, he played for like the Raptors. Weirdly enough,
Yeah.
like, but
And the thing about the Heat is you guys ran to a buzzsaw.
Yes.
You guys were never beating the Cavs.
The truth of the matter is,
Never.
for this
yeah,
specific
they're playing
season,
really well.
with this specific season, basically egos got in the way, and Jimmy Butler, Pat Riley clashing all season long. Really, I mean, it kind of bit Pat Riley more than it bit Jimmy because he gave Jimmy to a great situation in Golden State for him.
Yeah.
And he said, let's get Andrew Wiggins. Let's give him his jersey number. Let's watch him play. And Andrew Wiggins just simply isn't Jimmy Butler.
He's not.
And that's really what happened there. And now Miami's
solid piece.
He's a good piece.
He's-
but
he's a good number
He was
3.
not
Yeah.
good at all.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, he was very bad. Really, I think our best player in the playoffs was Davion Mitchell. The way he played defensively. I mean, his defensive game is amazing. But this series was the most lopsided series in NBA history in the playoffs.
Yeah, it was bad.
They
It was
lost
really
the last
bad.
2 games by a combined 95 points.
That's crazy.
It's really bad.
At
So-
home.
At
Both
home.
of those games
To,
in
to
Miami.
be fair, though, the Cavs are playing exceptional
Elite basketball.
Yeah, it's
right
actually
now.
it's not that crazy. The Heat were the 10 seed, so like
Right.
10 versus 1
It doesn't
seed.
matter who was going to be in that 8 seed. The
Right.
Cavs are going to sweep them.
Yeah.
Or at least,
5.
actually at most, win in 5.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were not losing 2 games to an 8 seed. This wasn't the Bucks from a few years ago when the Heat went on that miraculous run.
Oh, that was
This
a fun
Cavs
run,
team,
though, wasn't it?
1 through 5
amazing.
starters,
Good
and I mean,
run.
talk about a resurrection of Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome's playing unbelievable basketball.
Unreal.
It's
right
all
now.
about fit. It's all
And
about
he's
fit
fitting
in the NBA.
really well. That Cavs team is built right now, and
They can beat Boston.
They
Not
could-
just
they-
beat Boston. They can win it
and
all.
I'm gonna be
They can
honest.
win it all.
I hope Cleveland and OKC make it because that would be an unbelievable final.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would be
Yes.
such a fun finals, and we would have 2 residents of this podcast clashing against each other
Yes,
with
we
Alan
would.
and Aaron
Yes,
in
we
the
would.
NBA finals.
That'd
That'd be
be
really
fun.
fun.
Here's my only thing about the Cavs, and I think I said this somewhere. Boston doesn't lose at home.
They don't.
And to beat Boston, you have to beat them at home. Miami is the last several years it's been either Miami or Boston in the finals, or I think they played in the Eastern Conference final 4 out of the last 5 years or something
They-
like that.
For like 14 of the last 20 Eastern Conference Finals, Boston and Cleveland have played in.
Yeah, no,
crazy.
Boston and Miami as well.
Boston or Miami. have-
Yeah. And Miami beats Boston in Boston.
They're the only
Nobody
team.
else can do that, and that is the problem. The Warriors did.
Yep.
Like, you have to be able to beat Boston in Boston because they are always going to have at least 3 games there. So,
Didn't the Cavs in the regular season? Aaron, didn't the Cavs beat the Celtics in the regular season in Boston?
this is the playoffs, pal.
Yeah, I think
This
they
is
did.
different
I think
ball.
they
But at
did,
the
yeah.
same time,
This is
Cleveland's going to have
different ball.
4 home games. It doesn't matter. They're the 1 seed. So they can lose all the games in
But
Boston.
Boston
they
also
want.
can play good on the road.
But Boston
They
plays
can.
well on the road is what I'm really trying to say, though, is Boston gets better throughout series, in my opinion, and their bench is just so incredibly good. Like, they built the team to where Jason Tatum nor Jaylen Brown need to even score 15 points at this point.
Absolutely.
Because Derek
right.
White is like the 10th best player in the league. Like, at this
for no
point.
reason.
But
That
you know-
dude is so good. He is. Him and Peyton Pritchard, dude. I love watching them play. I don't like Boston because, like, who
I
likes
despise-
Boston?
But
But they're good.
Boston isn't ready for Asar Thompson.
They're not ready for a Sarr
Boston
Thompson.
is not ready
That's
for
right.
the Asar Asylum.
You know
This-
who?
this dude
You know who is
has
ready for
Jalen
him though?
Brunson in hell.
Cancun. Because
Cancun
they're
is
going to
ready.
be there in about 2 weeks.
That's okay.
Um,
Let's pivot to that series real quick before we get off this topic here, in this Pistons New York series, let's just put this out here. Pistons should be up in the series.
Yep.
That's what I think.
Last game we could have.
You know what? You know what we should say? The Pistons should have already won this series.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could have realistically closed out in Game 5. That could have been 4-1.
Should have won Game 4.
Yeah, that could have been 4-1.
Yeah.
It's a shoulda, coulda, woulda world, though.
It is.
Yeah. And what's happening, like, I think you were right with the Dante DiVincenzo thing. I think this Knicks team is actually not as good as they were last year.
Them trading him for McCall Bridges, well, in a way.
Yeah,
it's not
I mean, they
kind of
did.
McCall Bridges has been terrible from 3. I mean,
Yeah, he's
they
not-
lost Game 2. McCall Bridges had 3 or 4 put the fries in the bag. All right.
Like, the thing, like, what is happening is, like, the only reason that I think New York is winning this series is because the inexperience of Detroit.
Mhm.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
And you can say what you want, but Jalen Brunson, man, is just, I mean, he played terrible.
Horrible.
He played terrible.
Yep.
But he is so good, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes off for 40 tonight.
He could.
Yeah, he'll
close
probably
it
have
out.
30 free throws
my
because all he
point-
does is foul bait.
But it's perfect because that's exactly what a team like Detroit hasn't experienced yet in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Right.
And that's playoff basketball is half-court sets.
I told them, I'm like,
Yes.
I won't be mad unless we get swept. Just win a playoff game. They've
And
won
won.
2. They've
They
won
won
2
two.
at the Garden.
We're playing with house money
We're
right
playing,
now.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. We won
And-
14 games last year.
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing
But
with house
but
money.
but now that like we're here, it's 3-2.
You should win.
We're in this series.
You should win.
I won't take a moral victory right now. Like I get it. We won 14 games.
I'm telling
last year,
you.
But I agree with you. I cannot see us losing 3 straight playoff home games. There's no
Little
way.
Caesars Arena has been really good too. Fans showed out. I mean, it's been a great atmosphere. Game 3, I'll give to the Knicks. The Pistons didn't play good in the second half. But Game 4, that should have been a foul. And I don't
It should've
care.
been.
what
Cade
Knicks
should have hit the
fans are
shot.
saying.
Cade
These
should have hit the
these
jumper.
New York fans who think they're so entitled when they haven't won a championship since 1973 are clowns. I don't want to hear it. You're an
very
embarrassment to the
true.
NBA. You are the Toronto Maple Leafs of the NBA.
That's
You
facts.
don't do anything.
facts.
I don't want to
Yeah.
hear about you're entitled and how you have all these superstars. Congratulations. Jalen Brunson is the only one that is showing up half the time because McCall Bridges is missing threes. Cat can't play in the paint because Game 2 he was terrible. Didn't have one shot in the fourth quarter. And then you have all your other role players. OG Anunoby, who's actually playing really good
Dog.
defensively.
I've never
They
seen
gotta
him do
give
a
him that.
hezzy before a couple weeks ago. That threw me for a
Spike Lee
loop. I can't lie.
disagrees.
Spike Lee can go away. He won't see a Knicks championship in his life.
I'm as a movie fan, I'm never watching another Spike Lee movie after this series. I hate
Listen,
Spike
if you
Lee.
guys need to beat New York, go get Trae Young.
No.
We don't, bro. We don't.
Trae
Trae
Yeah.
Young is the only
I
player
hate
in the
Trae.
NBA
I will say
that can
he's
defeat them.
at
Yes.
Madison Square Garden. He turns into a different player.
I'll
Yes.
I'll tell you this though. 'Cause this is gonna be not in the series anymore. I want to talk about the Pacers. Cause they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Right.
Dude, they are gonna give who they play what, the Celtics next?
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Oh, they play Cleveland. They're the 4 seed.
Yeah.
They're gonna give Cleveland a
I agree.
really
I
tough
think this could be a
run
7-game
100%.
series.
because that team is built perfectly.
They're balanced.
Halliburton doesn't need to score 30 every game, in
Yeah.
which I know in this day and age, superstars need to do what superstars do to get their recognition, but he hits big shots.
Always.
They have two amazing role players, and this might be a stretch saying he's a role player, but Pascal Siakam,
He's not a role.
He is not a
he's their
role
best
player. He's a star.
maybe. Let's be honest with
What do you
ourselves.
mean? He averages over 20.
He's their leading
That's not a
scorer.
role
Austin
player.
Rivers averages almost 22, by the way.
Who?
Austin Reeves.
Or Austin Reeves, my bad.
Austin
I might as well have said Austin Rivers how he played this series.
No,
if
yeah,
we're
that's
being
true.
honest
That's
with
true.
ourselves,
That's
okay?
Pascal Siakam.
He is good,
I will
but
say Tyrese, to give him benefit of the doubt, he also has the best backup in the league in his father because he's going to absolutely put it on the line.
I
for
thought
him.
you were gonna say T.J. McConnell because he probably
T.J.
is the
McConnell's
best.
a dog.
But
give him his credit.
Miles Turner as well, dude, is awesome.
Indiana's very good. They got a
Aaron
lot of good
Neesmith,
pieces.
I would take that dude on my team.
Benedict
Nemhard,
Mathurin.
Andrew
Benedict
Nemhard.
Mathurin is just waiting to break out. He's gonna be a dog.
He
Jarris
said he was
Walker.
better than LeBron when he came out too. So.
Yeah, I bet.
And Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin's ever since he
Yeah.
left New York. Crazy what
Yeah.
happens when you leave New York.
He's not just
you do
a
better
dunker.
things.
He's not just a dunker, apparently.
No, he can shoot.
He can.
The Pacers are a very balanced team. They don't really have like a glaring weakness, but they have stardom in Tyrese Halliburton, and I'm going to give Pascal Siakam a star. He won a championship in Toronto. He was their guy for years, and now he is I'll say 1A and 1B.
He's good.
Tyrese
He's good. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, but I think
Cleveland to me has way too much star power. Way too much. And you say that the Pacers have a good bench, the Cavs have a really good bench as well. Yeah. And I do think the Cleveland wins the series, but I do agree. I think it's going to be in 6.
It's going to be.
I think Indiana's going to give them. I think Indiana's going to win a game in Cleveland. I don't know if it's game 1, game 2, or game 5. I think they win a game in Cleveland.
The only person that matters for the Cavs right now is Darius Garland. If he continues to play well, they will play well. Evan Mobley has finally taken a step in the direction where he is a consistent guy.
Yes.
And Donovan Mitchell is still a top 10 player in the NBA and has been almost since he came into the league. But Darius Garland has a tendency to not play well in the playoffs. He played terrible last year. If he plays well in the series, they'll win. And if he continues to play well, they can win the whole thing. But I think it comes down to him.
Real quick, I know we got to get out of here. Where's Giannis going?
He's staying in Milwaukee.
He's staying in Milwaukee.
You already know what I'm going to say. Because everybody.
I hope you're ready to trade Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo and only have Giannis on your team.
Realistically, they would honestly trade Kel'el Ware.
They would.
A first-round pick in Davion Mitchell. I don't know how the contracts match up because Giannis is being paid like Jeff Bezos bucks.
Yes.
But like that is a realistic trade in my mind.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to trade away the moon.
Realistically, you think he could go to the Heat?
I 100% think he could go to the Heat.
Okay.
The thing is,
you said Pat Riley wasn't like himself anymore.
That would be Pat Riley trying to make his last final move. You know, because he's, just like you said on our last episode of Jerry Jones, he's getting close. So he needs to make a move.
Dude, that was hilarious. Oh, my God. He's like 5 years away from being 6 feet under. Like, that was some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen.
I think Houston makes the most sense. I think they have all the young assets to make this trade, and they have good picks. Houston. OKC has the most assets in the lead.
I don't think they'll give him up, though.
I don't think so either.
Just
I don't think they
need 10 first-round picks. They'll still have like 20.
I really like Houston.
My number one would be Houston. Sleeper, I think San Antonio could pull it off. I don't know if
San Antonio or Giannis and Wembanyama would.
They would have to trade Stephon Castle, though.
They would have to.
They would have to trade Stephon Castle.
I
and
think
like
they could keep Wemby
Kendall
and Fox
or Keldon Johnson.
Keldon.
But they'd have to give up a lot of picks as well. They'd have to give up their 2042 first round.
Realistically, at his age and where, like, his game, he can play anywhere, honestly, for being honest.
Yes.
I don't think he fits into anybody's, like, because if you get him, you better win, like, that year.
Which is why Brooklyn makes no sense.
Oh, don't even get me started. If Brooklyn trades for him, I'll become a Jazz fan, dude. Like...
You'll get Cooper Flag.
I mean,
maybe
it's gonna be funny when neither of them get the
first
pick.
What's
gonna
Washington. Make me the most pissed off?
Washington would be sweet. They got some
Demo
dudes.
will relate to this. Is the worst team in the league? Who was it this year?
Washington.
Was it Washington? They're gonna get the number 1 overall pick. Because it's not a team that says Detroit Pistons as the worst team.
Listen, though, they're going to be good in a few years because Bub Carrington's a dog. Alexander Sarr played amazing at the end of the season. And
I think
they have that one other dude that Keyshawn Johnson, maybe?
I don't know.
I think so.
They have Devi Avdija.
I think Washington wouldn't
He's
be
traded.
as poor.
He plays for Portland.
As poor of a landing spot for Flag, but that's all I got.
I think Flag
San Antonio would be perfect for Flag.
San Antonio would be perfect for pretty much anybody.
We just gotta hope Victor comes back healthy and fine.
Well, and that's a huge part of it.
The X factor here, Giannis has to go somewhere to a team that has picks. The Bucks don't have their pick for the next 5 years or whatever.
That's true.
Yeah.
So they can't rebuild if they don't have their picks. So
and that's why it would be perfect to give them to the Thunder. But the problem with the Thunder is they have Jalen Williams.
Yes.
And you don't want to ruin that.
If there is a time for Giannis to try and leave, it would have to be right now, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he's gone, it has to be this offseason.
I think the Dame injury changed everything.
If he leaves, they're the worst team in basketball.
Oh, not just the worst team, the worst situation.
It's
in the
Dame,
future.
Brooke Lopez. Yeah.
Listen, they've got some cool young.
Kuzma,
They traded
Kuzma
away.
was hooping.
Kuzma,
Oh.
They
yeah.
traded away A.J. Johnson to the Washington Wizards in the trade for Kuzma, which I didn't understand. They have A.J. Green, who's also cool. Derry Bird, by the way. That boy can hoop, and he can shoot that thing. Andre Jackson Jr. from the UConn championship a couple years ago. He's really good. But they don't have anything sustainable. And you would put Damian Lillard out there. They win 30 games next year.
Isn't Kevin
if
Porter
that.
Jr. there?
Don't even get me started
Kevin
on
Porter
that.
He's played
Jr.?
horrible.
I completely forgot he was still in the league, to be
Yeah,
completely
he's-
honest.
Well,
I thought he was going to be so good in
I
Cleveland.
thought Kevin Porter was at the Clippers.
He's
he must
also-
he was traded. he
He's
was
also a
traded to the
terrible
Bucks.
person, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
he is.
Definitely.
But so is Miles Bridges.
Yes.
No, that's the worst situation.
Charlotte.
It's
The
so
glor-
I
awful.
don't agree.
glorified-
Unless they get the number one pick.
disagree.
I would
Unless they get
love.
the
I
number
would
one
love.
pick.
They're the Raiders of the
having
NBA.
LaMelo Ball-
They're a glorified
having Lamelo-
AAU team. that
Having
plays
LaMelo Ball
basketball.
and Brandon Miller, you can get some things.
Well,
And Mark
Brandon Miller
Williams.
was
You
hurt
still
this
have
whole
Mark
year.
Williams.
What about
They just need some veterans. They need to do what Detroit did. Detroit this offseason they were running a daycare. They had everybody at 21 or 22.
They're a
And they
glorified
went out and they
AAU
got
basketball
role
team in the
players,
NBA.
And they went
they
out and
play
got a
like
veteran.
it. There's no
they
culture.
need to go do that, but they're not going to.
They need to
'cause
trade
they're
away
smart.
Miles Bridges. First off, they need to trade literally cut off anything that is like. It is so toxic in that place. They are
well,
like
that's what I'm getting at.
they
It's
are
an AAU.
so yeah.
There's
I
no
mean,
culture.
There's no culture there. Their coaching is awful. Like actually, you know what? I'll give my flowers to Charles Green because he's cool. I like him. But there are a lot of situations in the NBA that are really bad. What are the Toronto Raptors doing? What are the Pelicans doing? Like it's very weird. Like Brooklyn is terrible, don't get me wrong, but you can kind of see that they just shut down.
They got a ton of
everything.
assets. They're gonna make a big move.
The-
somewhere.
I think
To get
if I
Giannis.
were them, if I were the Nets, my favorite team, I would just see where your picks take you. You have 3 first-round picks this coming year: the Bucks, the Knicks, and your own. That's 3 big first-round picks right there.
This is a good
They're
draft
gonna trade
too.
them.
It's a good draft, and you get one of the 3 top guys.
Go get one of those Rutgers guys.
I
get Ron
would
Harper.
rather have Ron or the Harper kid than I would Ace Bailey. Even though I think Ace Bailey's good, I would rather have him. Or I'd like the BYU kid, Igor Demon. He's a dog too. Just let me run the Nets, dude. Like, just don't get me in with the salary cap situation and stuff.
That
but
can
like,
be done by someone else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Pistons in 7, by the way.
Pistons in 7. Pistons are winning it all. Actually, there's
That
no
would
shot
be
they don't.
honestly that would be sweet.
That
I'm
would
not
be
even
sweet.
a Pistons fan, but like I feel like around here, they're like LeBron is the only thing that's ever done anything in this area, like for
Yeah.
fandom.
Well, I mean, recency, yeah. But Pistons historically is one of the better franchises in basketball.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
the
Bad Boy
Boys,
Pistons, Tarion
Boys.
Prince and Ben Wallace and them. That was a fun team. And
filthy.
what 2004? 20,
Yep.
Oh, Chauncey
P.A.
Billups
or
too.
Mason, bro, and in the heydays of the Bad Boys, Mason. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was the best.
Yeah, Blake Griffin's 1 year of just
Okay.
complete, just insanity. Dude was so good.
Shout out Reggie.
And then like the
Jackson.
next year was like, I'm not gonna dunk, and then got traded and dunked
Shout out
4
Brandon
times
Jennings.
the first time.
Actually, I wonder what Brandon Jennings is up to.
Shout
He's
out
talking
Ersan
trash. He's got a
Ilyasova.
podcast. Him and Pat Beverly were talking
Yes.
trash
Really?
to each
That's
other.
funny.
He was like, "You're not good," you know. Dude, that was funny because they're both of them are
Shout out
terrible.
Sekou Doumbouya.
That's
We're just-
Mario
we're just-
Hazonia. How
We're
about
just
that
pulling
name,
out
man?
names for these Pistons guys now. at this point.
4 guys just naming irrelevant players.
random
Ersan Ilyasova. There you go.
Bro, talk about
he was a
Nikola
dog.
Mirotic.
There you go.
I loved him, dude. I thought the Nets were
Pelican
gonna get
legend.
him. He was good.
Pelican
He
legend.
really was.
It's all right. We're going to wrap up this basketball segment. Thank you guys for coming on here. When we come back, we got to talk about the NFL draft, you know? A lot of things happened at the NFL draft that we have to cover, for sure. All that and more. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Ball and Beats podcast.
What's up, Ball and Beats family? Good to be back. I just wanted to say that I'm so happy and so proud of how far the podcast has come, and I can't wait to show you guys what we can do in the future.
And welcome back here to the Ball and Beats podcast here, episode 137, as we now have Mr. AJ and
Welcome
Aaron
back,
coming
gentlemen.
back.
been like 100 episodes since I've been on.
Yes,
been a little bit.
It's been a while since.
It's
I've
been
First
a
time
while.
on camera for you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Welcome, y'all, to the studio. And, of course, we had our last episode. Our NFL mock draft went out. Well, you know, the NFL draft has now come and gone, and there is a lot to talk about when it comes to it. Not a lot, necessarily, in some ways, but one team in
Let's
particular.
talk about bad teams. I mean, if that's what you want to do.
One team in particular, yeah. That we kind of have to, right? I feel like we have to.
Which team do you
You
think
know?
we should start off with?
The
Buddy?
Titans. We should start out with the number one pick.
should.
I mean, we all knew that was gonna happen. Like
Yeah.
it's.
I mean,
But I think the bigger question is, what do they do with Will Levis? They trade him? Do they keep him to mentor? Do they swap him
Mentor?
and Cameron Ward out?
Have you
I
not
mean,
seen
there's
the
a
Will
lot of
Levis
things they
memes?
could do there.
they're
we
not
need
mentoring.
more Will Levis memes though.
Can't
And obviously, Jacksonville. Jacksonville traded up to 2 with the Browns and to draft Travis Hunter. And that offense with Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter and Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence has no excuses this year. He's got none. He goes out there and throws 20 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. Goodbye. Release. I know you're owed like $55 million. Who cares?
saying.
Dead cap.
This is the year for Trevor Lawrence to finally get over that hump. He's had very questionable seasons the last 2 years in the league. And the problem is, I mean, the hype around Trevor Lawrence, he's the best quarterback we've seen since Andrew Luck coming out and everything. And it just has not panned out so far. To be granted, Jacksonville is a very, very bad situation to get into. And he has had the coach carousel here and there.
Urban Meyer being his coach.
That
his
was
first year was crazy.
The most intriguing
Crazy.
thing
And then
I've
we
ever seen
thought
in
it was
my
on
life.
the upward trend with Doug Peterson, and then it went right back down.
It was crazy.
And now you got Liam Cohen coming in, former Buccaneers offensive coordinator.
Duval.
And here's the thing. People should have seen this coming from a mile away when it came to Jacksonville. Because all these, ever since our mock draft episode was recorded, it was recorded a week prior before it came out. All the rumors leading up past our mock draft episode was Ashton Genty to Jacksonville. And everyone's like, where's this coming from? I mean, they have ETN, and they also have Tank Bigsby. But they hadn't had a great running game.
Nope.
And it just
ETN's
didn't make
fall off.
sense because of Liam Cohen's offense. He is a pass-heavy offense. Jacksonville's going to throw this ball. They're going to throw the ball 65% of the time, at least, minimum. And look at what he did in Tampa Bay when he had Bucky Irving, who was really good, a really good running back. He barely handed him the ball.
Yep. Rookie.
And so you should have expected a move like this when it came with Jacksonville. And their young general manager, I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head, but he came from the Rams organization. And they have that mindset of F them picks. In Cleveland, I mean, getting a first-round pick for a non-quarterback, you take it. I mean, Travis Hunter is an elite talent. Generational because he can play both sides of the ball really good. But you have to take that deal if you're Cleveland.
Okay. All right. I don't want to hear that. You were all Mr.
I was. I
You were
was.
all
Oh, we
Mr.
talking about-
Travis Hunter or bust. I'm going to be so mad if the Browns don't take Travis Hunter. I'm going to be really disappointed. And then they traded down. They got a first-round pick. Cool and all. The Jaguars are in an ass division, so I wouldn't be surprised if they make the playoffs next year. But I think the biggest thing for the Browns is just keep drafting quarterbacks, and maybe one of them will pan out. They drafted the one nobody wanted. They drafted Shedeur Sanders, and it's going to be at the 5th round. Why the hell not? I mean, it's you're throwing away a draft pick, and if he pans out, Cleveland will look like world breakers. If not, oh well, you get Arch Manning next year or Garrett Nussmeier. At least some people think. To me, though, it's like okay. So I want to get your guys' opinion. I know that everyone's saying the reasons why Shedeur Sanders fall. The talent is obviously there. That is not a question. Shedeur Sanders, talent-wise, is a first-round pick, maybe even a lottery pick. Not lottery, top 15, top 10 pick. He must have absolutely bombed his interviews. He must have absolutely made these general managers and coaches think he's like the worst quarterback ever imaginable. I could say other words, but I don't want to get canceled. He must have said the worst thing you can to these people for him to get dropped all the way to the 5th round, because we all talked about it. We all thought he wouldn't go past 9 of the Saints, and the fact that the Saints picked Tyler Shuck.
Yep.
Tyler Shuck, who's going to be 26 by the time he gets to the first week. That's ridiculous.
He was the 3rd quarterback taken, right?
Tyler Shuck, yeah.
Tyler, yeah.
Jackson Dart.
Jackson
And
Dart.
ironically,
Dart
here's
was
the
Jackson
thing.
Dart to the Giants.
We had our mock. We had the Giants trading back up for a quarterback. We had the wrong
We had the
quarterback
trade
though.
right, the
We had
wrong
the trade right.
Oh,
but
did you guys have Shedeur or
we had Jalen
Milroe.
Milroe.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
funniest thing about the Giants and Jackson Dart, things came out. They said they've basically been locked in on Dart since about January.
Yeah.
Ever since he actually showed up to the Senior Bowl and all that. I think what hurt Shador was he didn't really do anything at Combine. He didn't do anything at the Senior Day Bowl game. Him and Dion was going out saying that they'll just turn down teams if a certain team drafts
Yes,
them.
they did that earlier on in the process.
He was trying to treat it like it was still college where he got to choose, and it's like, hey, hate to break it to you,
don't get to choose
but
here.
that's not how the NFL works. NBA, yeah, you can kind of choose a little bit.
Eli did it though.
Eli did do it.
He was never going to get that type of Eli treatment, though. He was not as good as Eli coming out of college. And I think the biggest takeaway is teams didn't want him. You said all these Pittsburgh, New Orleans, New York, Cleveland, time and time again. They took Dylan Gabriel before they took Shador Sanders in the 5th round.
That was insane.
That was the
There
crazy
was
When I
teams
saw
over. Yeah, there was teams over and over passing on this guy, and it's like he thinks he's a hot shot, and of course he goes to Cleveland because it just makes too much sense. At the end of the day, you knew it was always going to be the Browns.
At some point.
We knew it, right? We did. We made these jokes all
He was
throughout the
always
year.
gonna
He was
be a
always going to
Brown.
be a Brown.
When Pittsburgh didn't take him with their first-round pick, I'm like, oh, he's fallen to the Browns
With
at
the
some
third- and
point.
even
He's
with,
fallen to the
even
Browns.
with the third, when the Giants took Jackson Dart, I'm like, why? I'm not the, like.
I
don't
knew they were going
I
Jackson
don't like
Dart.
Jackson
yeah.
Dart personally. I think he's like a Matt Corral 2.0. These Ole Miss QBs who are in great systems, but they never develop in the NFL. Maybe the Giants see something different, but
Great snap counts. Shout out
yeah,
John Gruden.
just clap. Yeah, that's a snap count. But to me, it was so funny watching him fall and then seeing his videos on Twitter be like, oh, well, we didn't expect this to happen, but, things, and why not? And then he dropped out of day 2, and I'm like, is this dude not going to get drafted?
I thought he wasn't going to get
I'm
picked
gonna
up.
be
That was the
honest,
crazier part.
I didn't think he was going to get drafted.
The second we drafted Gabriel, I'm like, oh, they're not going another quarterback again. I like they don't need to. You could pick an
couldn't
offense.
believe what I was seeing, but at the same
Pick wide
time,
receiver.
it's like, and I'm sorry, I absolutely hate this dude with a burning passion. He's a scumbag. Not Shador. Mel Kiper is so effing stupid. I hate Mel Kiper. NFL teams don't know how to evaluate the quarterback position for 50 years. It's, okay, yeah, and you also said Ryan Leaf was going to be a surefire, Hall of Famer.
I forgot about
Yeah,
the Ryan
good
Leaf
job,
one.
Mel
Yeah.
Kiper.
talks
He
about
did
the
have Ryan
He
Leaf
was the
over
biggest
Manning.
advocator for Johnny Manziel, who also went to the Browns. Manziel fizzled out in 2 years because he didn't watch film and he didn't want to play football. He just wanted to go to frat parties all the time. Mel Kiper is a scumbag, and he is. I don't get why this dude gets paid actual American currency to talk sports, to talk about the NFL. He comes out.
He's the godfather of
works-
this talk
he
we're
works
having right here.
He works 1 month a year. And it's April. After that, what does he do? What does he do when the NFL?
He's working on 2026.
He just makes mock
Yeah.
drafts in his basement. And then he says Shador's going to be all this. He says Ryan Leaf's going to be all this. Johnny Man. It's the stupidest thing ever. And that's why I can't watch the ESPN broadcast. I have to watch NFL Network.
I will say, the older he's gotten, I do think he has gotten worse.
Well, he's never been good.
He's
never been good. No, he hasn't.
He's so inaccurate.
He's a terrible talent evaluator, and who's to him to say that all these NFL GMs are terrible at developing quarterbacks? Yeah, he also said Jalen Hurts was a terrible pick to the Eagles because they already had Carson Wentz. So, yeah, go figure.
On paper, people were like, why are you picking him in the second round at that point? There's some points where the argument is he's got fair arguments.
At the end of the
points.
day, NFL GMs know what they're doing.
They do know what they're doing, absolutely. And the thing is, the NFL
Unless you're in Las Vegas.
when it comes to the Shador
Yeah, some
Sanders, when it comes to Shador Sanders in particular, the NFL sent a clear message. You're not him. We don't think you're him. And you got to go prove it. And here's the thing. Cleveland's giving him the chance now. He's on the roster. He is quarterback 4 on this depth chart as it starts right now, okay? You obviously like Dylan Gabriel more than him. So he's got to claw his way. This could be maybe the best thing that ever happens to Shador Sanders. It could be the biggest blessing in disguise for him because maybe his mindset could completely change and he, the glitz and the glamour, primetime sun, always being in the limelight. But you drop all the way to the 5th round, you get humbled. Does he get humbled? Is he really going to get humbled from this? I think this could be maybe the best thing in retrospect for Cleveland as well. because maybe you just got a kid who finally got humbled and has that talent. And maybe that jersey with 40,000 quarterbacks, which it's going to add at least 4 to 5 this season, of course, could finally maybe end. Because you humbled a kid who has the talent, who has all the tools in front of him compared to everybody else ever for any quarterback, because of being a son of Deion Sanders, already having that kind of money, that kind of tools around him to grow. It could be maybe the best thing.
Like we talked about, the talent's there. He is a surefire first-round pick with the talent he has. He's an unbelievable quarterback. Decision-making isn't great, but,
Specifically
not
in the
everybody's
pocket.
perfect. He's not great
When
in
the pocket collapses.
But his attitude's got to change. I mean, he's got to not think, he's hot, what. He's got to be like, oh, my daddy will get me whatever I want, because that's what it's been for 4 years with Coach Deion.
I think that's the biggest fear, though, too. You got to think about it.
I think that's another reason why is because he's only been coached by his dad.
That's what I was going to say.
Now
Even his
he's
high
going
school coach was his dad.
Cleveland, where Kevin Stefanski, okay at developing the quarterback position.
He's a lot better than people give. I think Kevin Stefanski's a really good coach, and I think
he's a good coach.
I think
he's an okay quarterback.
The organization as a whole is what sucks. Okay, let's just get this out here. Cleveland and Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry are the two greatest things that Cleveland have seen.
Andrew Berry?
Andrew Berry, yes.
Browns fans have been wanting Andrew Berry fired for a few years.
The same
You
GM
can
that
tell.
made the,
hear me
the
out.
trade.
The same GM that made the trade.
The trade.
The trade? You
Deshaun
think he
Watson.
made the trade?
Oh, no, that was
He's
like
going
half.
to take the fall
You
for
think
it.
he? Oh, well, of course he's going to take the fall for it. But everyone
still
knows. Andrew
that was
Berry
the
and Kevin
Haslam.
Stefanski were going to be the ones perfectly fine. Oh, Watson doesn't want to come to Cleveland anymore. Okay, cool. Let's move off. Jimmy Haslam said, "Let me write a blank check.
But
we
you
need
don't
this."
know that. You don't know that. You don't know
I
if
know
it was
Cleveland. I know Cleveland. Okay. Anything that sounds just too crazy, Jimmy Haslam did it.
like drafting Shador.
Yes, I do. In some ways, think Jimmy
It'll
Haslam
bring
is the one who
ticket
pulled the
sales.
trigger.
I'll tell you that. Because Flacco should
Jimmy
start
Haslam
for you
is
guys.
not scared of anything. He'll do whatever, but he reacts way too quick. To me, the Shedeur Sanders move, I almost think he made a little bit of the move. I think Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski were like, "Screw it, this dude's still here. Might as well."
I say
And
there's
see, here's the
nothing
thing.
wrong with the
Here's
pick.
the
No,
thing.
it's in the fifth
There's
round.
nothing.
No.
not at
There's
all.
nothing wrong with the pick because you also just got an extra first for next year from Jacksonville, and Jacksonville, who knows how good they're really going to be? They're probably going to be a bottom 12 team, so you could still have 2 picks realistically in the top 12 next year if Cleveland, which we assume is not going to be good next year. Then you can get your guy then. Everyone thinks the quarterback class next year is all that, which I'm not fully buying.
I don't know if it's all that. I think it's just better than this year's class.
Yeah, I'm not
If
buying
the
that.
all that
quarterback
one
class
was
this year wasn't that great.
the year before. That was the all that one. Like
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this
Williams,
year.
Daniels, Drake May, yeah.
So Cleveland's really still set themselves up. No matter what, you have now Joe Flacco, you now have Kenny Pickett, you now have Dylan Gabriel, you now have Shedeur Sanders. Let
You're
them
missing
compete. Deshaun Watson's not playing. I'm not missing nothing. He's not playing this year.
Yeah, he's out.
Literally, let them compete and let the best man win. And if it's Shedeur, great. If it's not Shedeur, it's Dylan Gabriel. If it's not him, it's Kenny Pickett. Who cares? At the end of the day, whoever's out there playing quarterback for Cleveland, it don't matter. You know why? Because either they pan out somehow finally for Cleveland and they finally have a guy, or they can get another guy next year and keep doing the Russian roulette on quarterbacks every single season. It is what it is.
But that's not a smart way to do things.
It's not a smart way to do it.
hey,
but
he
when you're a
did
team,
just say the Browns organization's not that
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
as
he
an
did just-
organization.
No,
one,
and I'm
but
not
two, but two as well. I mean, you dug this hole
Yeah.
with Deshaun Watson. You have to find a way to climb out, and that's what they're doing. That's literally what they're doing to at least
Shedeur,
try and stay
yeah.
afloat.
Because
If
you don't
Shedeur
have to,
gets
you
his
don't
character
pay
intact, he's going to be a really good
Yeah,
quarterback.
because
Yeah.
you don't
I
really
completely
pay
believe that.
Dylan Gabriel that much. You're not paying Shedeur Sanders not that much. Kenny
Every
Pickett, I don't
single
even
is
think.
rookie. He's rookie.
Yeah.
He's a rookie. Every
Joe
one of these are on their
Flacco's,
rookie
I don't
deals.
think Joe Flacco's on.
Joe Flacco's
He's on a
probably not
1
even
year.
getting that much. Like
He's a 1 year,
so-
$4
Pickett's
million
getting paid
deal.
nothing.
Yeah, you got to eat the money from Deshaun Watson, but when you're finally done with that money, now you actually can handle the money with those quarterbacks easily. Because
Exactly.
the minute a quarterback leaves the first round, he gets instantly cheaper.
There's one thing.
There's also no fifth-year option.
There's one thing. Staying on the Browns, you guys didn't draft any receivers. I mean, I know you drafted the tight end from the school down south,
Which
but
I love that pick.
I think
by
that was
the
a
way.
great pick from you guys.
A lot of people are talking like, oh, we already have Njoku, but Harold Fanta, I mean, Think of Kevin Stefanski.
I would say this is Kevin Stefanski going back to his offense.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is. You have 2 tight end sets. He runs 22 personnel a lot.
He does.
2 running back, 2 tight end sets, and you got the running backs in Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson. Yeah, we still want Nick Chubb back. I would like to. They're going to sign Nick Chubb. I want
think
you
they
all to know
will.
that.
Yeah,
They're going to get him on a
I s-
1-year deal.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Even to be a mentor, honestly.
That exactly. And the thing is, Cleveland, this is the future right here. Is Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson in that backfield. Pierre Strong and Jerome Ford, they're going to be out the picture eventually. And they're getting back to what they know in Kevin Stefanski's offense. And yes, they do need a receiver. I mean, they have Jerry Jeudy, cool, but they don't have Elijah Moore anymore. He's now a Buffalo Bill. He signed with Buffalo as of yesterday at this time. And they did sign Deontay Johnson, former Toledo Rocket, who played on 3 teams last season because he couldn't find anywhere after Pittsburgh, really. That was really good for him. But who knows? Maybe coming back to Ohio will make it better for him.
Maybe he'll turn to a different player
But
again.
Cleveland, people got to realize this is a long-term project here. This is not like an overnight fix. This is a 5 to 7 year fix, legitimately. Like, people got to realize, why didn't they get a receiver? Why didn't they get this? Because they need everything. They need literally everything outside of Myles Garrett. Okay? Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah has a neck injury. Some people think he may never play football again. So people were questioning the linebacker pick of Karsten Sweshinger.
I think that
was a great
That
pick.
was an underrated pick from you
Like,
guys.
JOK might not play football again.
JOK was such a dog at Notre Dame.
So
man,
there's that. Cornerback room, they don't need it. And Travis Hunter, what's his second best thing or best thing? Corner. Trade back, get a defensive tackle you've never been good at getting. Mason Graham, the best one in this class. So Cleveland, I think, to me personally, I think they had one of the better drafts. But here's the problem with draft grades. They suck. You know why? Because you have to wait till like 3 years down the road to really grade it.
Exactly.
Who knows? I mean, this could be a great draft, but some people here think it sucks. Everyone thinks, you never know. That's why drafting a grade after it happens is the most pointless thing in the world. You have to watch it develop. And that's what matters. In Cleveland, this is a whole developmental thing right here. You've admitted the mistakes you've made, and now it's time to clean it up, and they've started to clean it up.
There you go.
Boom. Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. But let's pivot on to some other teams here. We got other fans here. The Cincinnati Bengals
start with
fan
the
getting
Bengals.
the absolute traits guy in Shamar Stewart in the first round.
Hey, he has the same measurables as Myles Garrett, so he's actually going to be Myles Garrett.
Is he
2.0.
going to be Myles
That's what
Garrett
everyone's saying.
100%. That's the thing about Shamar, though, is the production.
Here's the thing. He
3.5,
has no
4.5
production.
sacks.
He
No.
had,
None.
I think it was 3.5 sacks in 3 years at college as an edge rusher.
Yeah.
He also has, I believe, a 27% missed tackle percentage, and that was like the biggest problem with the Bengals, is that they couldn't tackle anyone.
So they got
last year.
exactly
So they
what
got
they
exactly that.
What they
The-
are.
I was super nervous that they may trade Hendrickson draft night. They usually, the Bengals don't trade. The
don't
last
trade nothing.
time they traded was a 7th round pick for Khalil Herbert.
Hey,
Khalil Herbert.
I mean, hey,
There you
it's
go.
like,
Hey,
here's a
he
seventh.
had a good game against the Broncos, week 16, and that was about it. But I mean, you had, so I believe their pick was Walter Nolan, who went to the Cardinals. But you had Jihad Campbell, and the Bengals they went linebacker in 2 rounds. They took Demetrius Knight, who's gonna be 25 week 1.
Oh,
who
boy.
I don't mind the pick. I think he could potentially be a leader going in because you have Logan Wilson, Demetrius Knight.
have to. His 401k
Oren
is
Burks.
already starting to build up.
You're basically replacing Jermaine Pratt with a better Jermaine Pratt now.
Yeah.
And then they took Barrett Carter out of Clemson in the 4th round. So they wanted linebackers, but I don't understand why you don't. I guess the medical issues with Campbell.
Jihad. I mean, yeah, that's why he fell where
That
he
is why
did.
he
But of
fell.
course, he fell to the perfect
And you
situation,
know
and
what?
it's going to be
He's
a Pro
going to
Bowler.
He's going to be an
He is-
All-Pro.
he
He's
is.
going to win
He's going to be
defensive
an all-pro
rookie of the
right
year.
next to Zach Bond.
Yep. He's going to be a 94
crazy.
overall in Madden in next year's
Yeah.
Madden.
It's crazy.
They could have also,
That's how it works.
if
Same
they
as Zach
wanted
Bond.
to, they could have taken a safety there, or they could have taken Will Johnson. I know he fell. Due to
He
medical
fell
as well.
hard,
He
but
fell-
He did.
the thing is, the issue with Will Johnson, we had him going 11 in our mock draft
Yeah.
to San Francisco, and ironically still ends up in the NFC West, but the knee concern.
yeah.
Some teams view it as a chronic issue, and that's why he fell so far.
Him opposite of Marvin Harrison Jr. in practices.
facing up against each other. Ooh,
Like
them
the
battles.
good old
You got that, then Quinshon Judkins and Mason Graham.
there we go. Quinshon Judkins
Yep.
and Mason Graham, Ohio State, Michigan, man. It always happens that way, doesn't it?
always does.
It always does.
So I want to go back on Stewart. I think Stewart can be good, but the thing with the Bengals
He's
is that
Tyree Wilson. That's
they
what he is this
can't-
year.
I haven't seen them produce defensive line talent that like a project guy.
Yeah.
Offensive side, we've seen it with Mims. I think Amarius Mims is going to be a great right tackle down the line for Joe Burrow. Finally. Get those
Finally
tackles
get some
that-
protection.
Get some help for him.
But then off Stewart, you still have the guard positions that are atrocious. You have Cordell Volson, and I guess right now Cody Ford.
Ooh.
You signed Lucas Patrick.
They're naming
we're
Burger
saying-
King
we're saying
workers
names
here.
that
Lucas
no one.
Cody
Cody Ford's a
I know
famous
Lucas
TikToker.
Patrick. He
He
used to
is.
be a
Yeah.
Packer, so
He
we
used to
probably
be- he
already
used to date
developed
that
him
one
for
girl.
you.
I mean, if he can block for Burrow, who has needed it for the past 5 years,
I mean,
I'll take it.
we develop O-line pretty well, so he.
I like
I
the.
think the Lions have 5 guards if you want one.
Hey, we could have taken Tate Ratledge, but instead we took Demetrius Knight. No, I think Knight will be fine, but you could have had Ratledge there, and then the third round you could have had Xavier Watts. I'm a Notre Dame fan. I saw Watts all game, or not
Very
all game,
good.
all season.
He's
Very good.
You could have had Campbell, Ratledge, Watts, and I think that's a great first 3 rounds. I think Fairchild's going to be actually a pretty good guard for the Bengals going forward.
That's fair.
It's just they had the opportunity to have a quote-unquote perfect draft, I guess, at least in the mind of a lot of fans, and they just didn't do it.
They didn't.
They have
They panicked because of Walter Nolan. I agree with you.
I don't know.
think he was a pick.
I actually disagree with that they panicked. I think Stewart was always going to be their guy
possible.
because they like athletes.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's the problem, though. You're right. They don't develop nothing.
No.
And that's the thing with Shamar Stewart. I'm high on Shamar Stewart. The problem is he has to develop.
Yeah, and
He
that's
has the
thing.
tools.
And as a Bengals fan,
He's Tyree Wilson. He's Trayvon Walker.
he scares
That's who
me.
he is.
Yeah.
He scares
That's
me
exactly
that he can
who he is.
be Miles Murphy. Now, granted, Miles Murphy hasn't really been on the field because Lou Anarumo never played him.
I think Miles Murphy has a great chance.
He does
Yeah.
now.
This year, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam Hubbard gone. He retired. I will miss him though because he was a fan favorite. He was a
Yeah.
Cincinnati
Hey,
kid.
He had that fumble recovery
yeah.
against
I was
the
up
Ravens.
here. I came back for winter break, and I was watching that game in the hotel, and I was going crazy during
Yep.
that. That was a fun moment. But yeah, I don't know if the Bengals can develop Stewart to become this potential beast that he can actually be. I
Yeah.
mean, what, he scored a 10 on the RAS?
I think so. Yeah.
That's insane. To have that athlete off the edge could be game changing. To have that on the other
His
side
speed.
of Trey Hendrickson,
His speed.
Stewart can get pressures, and the Bengals do need pressures, especially going after Lamar Jackson. I think this was, I feel like, a stop Lamar Jackson kind of draft.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they chose the right player. Obviously, we won't know for another couple of years. But
Yeah.
It-
Well, see, here's the thing, though. I think a lot of people always look at the sack numbers and they believe that's what matters the most when it comes to edge rushers. It's not. It is that pressure rate.
yeah,
Pressure
Well,
rate's
getting
really
around to the quarterback.
what matters because then you just affect the quarterback all the time.
Yeah.
If you're affecting the quarterback consistently, and to be fair, he had very high numbers.
he did.
He had very high numbers of pressure rate at Texas A&M, and some of the highest in the country. And the thing is, that's what really stands out more is his pressure rate, and that's what matters more to these general managers than the sack numbers. Sack numbers are fun, but I hear some yapping in the back there. But that's what matters more. Shamar Stewart, he's a great talent, and I think that Cincinnati, they desperately needed something opposite of
I'm-
Hendrickson.
They
'cause
did
you had
something
absolutely
on that
nothing.
defense.
I'm really
as long
hoping-
as they went
yeah.
defense in that first round, they would have been fine.
If they didn't go defense there, the only thing I'd be fine with is the offensive lineman from North Dakota State. I can't
Gray
think of his
Zabel.
name. Yeah, him.
Yeah, but he went on.
He went.
He
to
went
He
to
went to Seattle next
He
pick.
went to Seattle next pick.
Yep.
He
Love
went with
that
the next
for
pick.
the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Great pick for Seattle.
was.
I mean, Zabel to me is the best interior guy outside of Donovan Jackson in this class. This dude's going to be an absolute stud. And Seattle's missed a lot on their offensive linemen recently. So I think that was a great pick. I want to pivot to the man who was up in Green Bay, Wisconsin. For that reaction of finally getting a wide receiver, which
how
we
many-
predicted here. We had a trade up, though, for it. We had Matthew Golden going.
Predicted it.
We predicted it for you, and it ended up happening. How did it feel to finally get a receiver in the
how many
first
years?
round? 2002.
2002.
Javon
23.
Walker
I-
was the last receiver.
I was a year old the last time the Packers drafted a receiver. Don't even remember watching it because, like I said, I was a year old.
How do you not remember that, bro?
I don't know.
I remember when I was out the womb.
yeah. I'm gonna remember just being a baby. Yeah.
I wasn't even born the last time I did.
Yeah, I say most of the people probably weren't here, but no. So obviously there I said some words that I probably shouldn't say.
There
He does have a video of it.
I
but,
do have a video, but I was kind of happy we did, because I actually thought going into the draft, first round was either going to be an edge or corner, but then there was also like the fact of, okay, we do need a receiver because Christian Watson, one, can't stay healthy. Just tore an ACL week 18 against the Bears, so he's going to probably miss half the season. Then again, he's going to miss half the season anyway if he came in healthy. Love Christian Watson. Big. He's really big. He's really fast. But, oh, my gosh, the man can't stay on the field. Romeo Dobbs, he's now got concussion problems, so he's now being injured. We had a lot of drops last year. The only team that was worse than drops than the Packers was actually the Browns.
We know.
Yeah, like we had literally the two worst drop rates.
You know what's the funniest thing? I wouldn't be shocked if the Browns end up with a Green Bay Packers receiver on their roster by the time this season starts.
I think it'd probably be Dobbs.
Yeah, I'd say Romeo.
Dobbs or Jaden Reed. They'd hope for Reed, but
I think.
Oh, we're keeping Reed.
I know you want to
think
keep Reed.
Reed's
though.
gonna be a
Oh,
Packer.
Green
Cleveland
Bay
would
is
hope
not-
for Jaden Reed.
Oh,
they
if
hope
Griff-
Jaden Reed
if
is
we're
gonna be
if we're
their
gonna
guy.
choose one of the receivers that Green Bay probably won't keep, Dontavian Wicks is up there because he had a really down year
Yeah.
for what we thought he was going to be. Jaden Reed is definitely not going anywhere. Him and Matthew Golden is going to be the two receivers for Green Bay.
Well, see, that's the
going
thing. Y'all
forward.
have so many receivers. One or two of them are gone.
Oh, probably
100%.
yeah.
Wicks or Dobbs.
Wicks,
I think Wicks is definitely up on that list. I don't know who's going to be
Maybe
between.
Christian Watson.
That's the thing. I have
Maybe.
no idea who is going to be between Dobbs and Watson. But I love Matthew Golden. He had a speed 4.29, ran the fastest one in the draft. But it was very shocking. Like, I've just never seen it before. It's nothing that the Packers don't do that.
never.
They don't. They find gems in the second round. Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams, Greg Jennings, Randall Cobb, James Jones. None of them were first round receivers. And they all were really good players. So
You knew it had to have happened in Green Bay,
so
Wisconsin.
yeah, all it
though.
took was just for the draft to happen in Green Bay, have Mark Murphy announce the pick, and then now he is loved by Green Bay fans.
He
like-
has to.
I thought it was
you
funny
just
that
knew.
he said for the first time since 2002, and then he just paused, and you hear everybody.
everyone
Oh,
just
it
went-
got
oh,
it
yeah.
got
Crazy.
louder and louder the minute he kept saying that.
Yeah,
The se-
Because
I mean, the
when
second
he
you
said
knew.
that, everyone knew it was receiver,
looked like a pretty good crowd.
and then the crowd was
Yeah,
actually
what
crazy.
was the numbers? Do we know? It was like 200,000.
600.
600,000 for 3 days. The third day alone had like over 220,000.
That was surprising that there was that many people on day 3.
His first day, I think, is what he's saying.
Yeah, I was
Oh
talking
no,
about
that was
day
also
one.
Oh, that was
third day.
third day.
Third day they had a good amount because I
Third-
saw they had over 200,000 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
first and third day was easily 220. Second day was like 180. But the Bucks also played a home game, and the weather on the second day was terrible.
It was rainy.
I sat in line for 2.5 hours for a Mon Green signature in some 50-degree weather, rain, wind. It was not fun weather the second day.
Good old Green Bay.
Good old Green
That
Bay.
is your,
Wisconsin.
that's weather. That's called Midwest weather
There
in
you go.
April. It will be whatever it feels like.
Any other teams that really stand out? You know,
Yeah, what?
no one cares
Yeah.
about the Detroit Lions.
Well,
No,
this-
I'm going to
I
talk
was
about my
saying-
Lions.
Oh, we're
You
gonna talk
kidding
about
me?
Tyreek
No,
Williams?
No,
We
no,
talk
I'm
about-
going to talk about my Lions. You guys talked about all your franchises. The team that stood out to me the most, I'm going to be honest, I really like the Ravens draft.
Oh yeah.
I really like that Mike.
That
Mike
Starks
Green is a scumbag, but man, he can sack the
Mike
quarterback.
Green.
Oh, they just
Starks?
get Malachi Starks too.
Yeah, Malachi Starks. That I thought he was going to the Falcons. I thought they were going to take a Georgia guy. They ended up taking Jalen Walker. But I really like the Ravens draft.
The
I
Ra-
thought that they had a really good first 2 rounds.
They always do.
The Ravens
They
have
do.
always had a good draft.
Starks
It's why they
and
stay good.
Hamilton is going to be a
That-
really fun.
And the Ravens don't have
safety
to do
duo.
anything to get those guys.
They
They
know,
just
they
sat
didn't-
They
there.
just sat there, yeah.
They never do. They
Like,
never do.
Because the Falcons
okay?
traded back in the first round. You're thinking, okay, maybe they do
That's
get
another
Malachi
one.
Starks. No,
Surprised
they go
about
get
that
James
Falcons
Pierce
pick.
Jr.
Can we not? Yeah.
Getting
yeah.
James Pierce.
That wasn't that
Trading
was a
a
bad.
first round
first.
pick for James Pierce.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Anyway, talk about your Lions. No one cares about
Yeah.
it.
No edge. Hutchinson by himself again. No. I think we're gonna re-sign Zadarius Smith. If we don't re-sign Zadarius Smith, I don't know what the hell Brad Holmes is doing. I like the Tyreek Williams pick. I thought he was really good. I mean, I'm a Buckeye fan, so he was really good at Ohio State. Aleem McNeil's going to be out a few weeks to start the year. Probably be back week 4 because of an ACL injury last year. So him and DJ Reader will be fine. I'm sure we'll re-sign Zadarius Smith. I got to be honest. So I don't know who the hell that Isaac Tesla dude is, the receiver that we traded 3 third round picks for.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll say,
Yeah.
who let the draft
Brad
day
Holmes doesn't do
general
it. Brad
manager?
Holmes don't trade first round picks. He's a stickler for those. He'll trade all the thirds he wants. Yeah, I don't know who the hell that dude is, to be honest. Really like the Tate Radledge pick. We needed guard. And we got one of the best guards in the country at Georgia. And he's got a mullet. His number 69. He chugs beers. I mean, this is a Dan Campbell guy. His nickname was the Dirt Dog at Georgia. That is a Dan Campbell. That is
He saw that on social media
Yeah.
and was like, "Yep, Lions."
It's the most Dan Campbell guy I've ever seen. So yeah, I like the Lions draft. I would have liked a better edge, not that dude from Boise State, the Hussein kid, but I'll take it. They didn't really have a huge need, so I can't be too mad. I mean, obviously with edge opposite of Hutch, but they got Davenport, they got Onzarike. And I still feel they're going to re-sign Zadarius Smith for a year deal. I can't complain about it. So.
Lions season comes down to the 2 new coordinators, honestly.
Yep.
That's what
absolutely.
it is.
It really
Because
does.
it's the
Down to
same
Morton
roster, but it's
yeah.
like you lost Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. So
Yeah, it comes down to Morton and it comes down to Shepard. Calvin Shepard and Ben Morton. I think they'll be fine. I really like Shepard for the DC. The entire team loves him. The offense is just going to be the biggest question. Is Goff going to regress at all from
just
not
run
having
the
Ben
same
Johnson
offense.
to that?
Don't change.
Yeah.
Run the
Just run the
And he'll be
same
fine. And here's the thing:
offense.
Goff again is going to have no excuses. He's going to have yet again an elite offensive line. The Lions will always, under Brad Holmes, invest in the offensive line at
Yes.
least one draft, whether it's a guard, tackle, center. I wouldn't be surprised if next year they draft a center because Frank Ragnow is getting older, and while he's still a Pro Bowl center, I think he's 29, and normally centers start to regress once they get into their 30s. Unless you're the Cowboys or the Eagles. Their
Right,
offensive line it's good every single year, and all their guys are like in their 30s.
Yeah.
But I can't be mad at the draft. Tyleik Williams wasn't my first choice. I thought we'd go edge there, but we do need a D tackle. If Brad likes, Tyleik Williams, I like Tyleik Williams a lot. He's not a really big sack guy, but you're not going to run the ball on him. I can't be mad at it. So I'm fine with where the Lions are at. The big thing, like Aaron says, is going to be the coordinators. Losing Ben Johnson, losing Aaron Glenn, how big of an impact is that going to have on the team? Ben Johnson obviously doing this shtick in Chicago, which is pissing me off, and Aaron Glenn is in New York. I think the Jets are, a loser franchise. They're never going to win anything. But I hope Aaron Glenn turns it around because that'd be cool to see a coordinator from the Lions do it. And Ben Johnson, I hope he goes 0-17.
Justin Fields. Justin
Exactly.
Fields to Garrett
Ben
Wilson.
Johnson is dead to me. The fact that he went to the Bears, and I know it's a good job, don't care.
He was trying to start beef with Matt LaFleur for no reason.
He was starting shit with Jared Goff. He's like, he had an interview at the coaches meeting. Was it a few months ago or something like that in the winter? And I remember he was talking with PFT. He's talking on or Mike Florio on that podcast that they have.
I hate Mike Florio.
I hate Mike Florio too.
I'll say Florio.
Mike Florio is the number one Bengals hater. So
Yeah, and they went on saying they had Ben Johnson on, and Ben Johnson was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be having a quarterback a little mobile, unlike Jared Goff," and he did like this stupid shtick. And I hope the Bears fall off the earth again because the Bears are a loser franchise. They win the offseason 3 straight years, and they think they're hot. You know what? I don't want to hear it. They are the
Already said it once,
basement
might
of
as
the
well say it
NFC
again.
North. They are the basement of the NFC. They're the basement of the NFL. They will never win anything because the Bears are owned by all 3 teams in the North. I don't care about the Packers losing a game. The Packers own the Bears. And the same thing with the Vikings. The Vikings, time and time again, win the division more than the Bears. They make the playoffs more than the Bears. What do the Bears do when they make the playoffs? They double doink it off the upright and make it the most hilarious thing of all time. And Cody Parkey, I'd buy that guy a beer to do it again for the Bears. I would do it. I would do it 10 times out of 10. The Packers, they've beaten the Bears every year, and the Packers didn't really have a ton to play for in Week 18 last year. They made the playoffs. And who cares? It's funny. I will always get to laugh at the Bears because at the end of the day, they used to laugh at us. Now I'm going to do it in return. Because everyone laughed at the Lions. Oh, the loser line. I'm laughing at every one of you sons of guns out there.
What'd you
I
think
just
of
love
that?
Unless you're the
Mythology.
Eagles and the Commanders, I can't laugh at you.
You definitely can't laugh at the Commanders, right?
Jaden Daniels is my father.
Okay.
Yes,
to
we
be
know
fair, though,
that.
Caleb Williams also has no excuses, by the way.
No, he
No,
doesn't.
he does not.
I'm
He
just
does
saying
not.
That Bears team has a lot of talent, but they have no excuse this year.
Their offensive
have
line's gonna be good this year.
Yep.
Should be.
It should be good
Should
on
be.
paper.
Should
On
be
paper,
really
it should
good.
Be good.
I mean, no more Keenan Allen. No
Well,
more.
they
That's wrong, 'cause
they
they drafted Luther
drafted
They
Burden.
draft
Like,
Luther Burden.
They got
I
another
love.
tight end that
I'm a big fan of
we'll
Luther
actually use.
Burden. You know, I mean, he fell out because of concerns of his attitude and character. But people forget coming into this draft as well. When it comes to him, he was supposed to be the number 1 receiver
He was.
preseason.
He had a lot of hype.
He had a lot
He
of
just
hype.
never really lived up to it. He never.
Well, he didn't
I mean,
because the quarterback situation in Missouri. I mean, Brady Cook.
Brady Cook was
not-
good, but then he got hurt.
He fell
and then
off.
Missouri was not
Yeah.
the same after that. I think he'll be good.
he'll be really good.
I think the biggest thing for the Bears is to see the development of obviously Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams had a good rookie year last year. He only threw 5 interceptions,
Yeah.
Think
something
so,
like
yeah.
that. He had 17 touchdowns, which is really good. Seeing the development with him and Ben Johnson obviously is going to be the big story, but I think also Roma Dunze, his connection with Roma Dunze and DJ Moore and those receivers, that's going to be a big storyline to look out for the Bears in the season. And I hope they go own something. Simple as that.
Well, that's gonna wrap up this
Wait a minute.
NFL talk. What?
Got to show off the jersey.
Oh, you do have to show it off, right?
So
shout out our boy Quinyon Mitchell. You know. Yeah. Shout out Quinyon.
Shout out! No, not just Quinyon Mitchell.
And
Super
shout
Bowl
Jackson Hook.
Super Bowl champion Quinyon Mitchell.
Unfortunately,
Champion
Got
Quinyon
drafted
Mitchell.
by the Eagles.
And also shout out another NFC East guy in Darius Alexander as well. 3rd round
Yeah.
pick. First pick in the 3rd round for the New York
Back-to-back
Giants.
top 65 picks
Everybody
for Toledo.
from Toledo loves to go to the NFC East except for Dallas. Except old school.
Max
I
and
will.
Hook
I will
is
go
gonna
to
make
the
that
grave
Eagles
saying,
roster.
"Man, I wanted Quinyon on the Lions, and I'm gonna regret
I'll
that."
say both of us was trying to get Quinyon last year at that draft.
Yeah.
It's all right,
He's
so.
gonna be an All-Pro.
Probably.
It's okay. It's all right. Quinyon Mitchell, we love you, boy.
We'd love
Yes,
to.
we
Yeah.
We love you. And shout
Love
out
you,
my
buddy.
boy Darius Alexander.
Hey,
Go
shout-
be
shouts to
great,
Max and
dude.
Hook as well.
And real quickly before we end the football segment, does anybody have a better defensive line than the Giants?
I think.
I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of
amazing
talent they have.
defensive line.
Nothing. Now they have absolutely nothing in that secondary.
They have absolutely
and
nothing anywhere else.
They have nothing
It's
anywhere
just
else.
the defensive
But
line.
man,
Besides Malik Neighbors
I'd
on
be
the
honest.
Front four.
I would go to a Giants game just to go see that defensive line.
Yeah.
That's a fun group of players.
Yeah.
First thing is,
ton of talent.
Kayvon Thibodeau can't even be the starting defensive end.
Well, the best-
because they got Brian
Dexter
Burns
Lawrence,
and
Brian
Abdul-Jabbar.
Burns. Now you have Darius Alexander.
Kayvon Thibodeau might be the worst of the 5.
He might be.
Legitimately
Yeah.
might
Yeah,
be
the
the
guy was a
worst.
fifth
They have
overall
Abdul
pick.
Carter too. You have Abdul on the other side playing half linebacker, playing half edge. I mean, that's gonna be, whew. Yeah. They're gonna be scoring like 2 points a game though.
They're gonna need to rely on
3.
them to score.
Yeah.
They're gonna lose games like 6-3.
All right. Well,
Okay,
we're gonna
Jackson.
finally wrap up this football segment. When we come back here, we're talking some baseball.
Finally.
Talking some baseball. And why the Reds are the worst organization in sports.
Oh,
Don't
hang
go
on.
anywhere.
Hang on now.
You're watching the Ball and Beats podcast.
Hello, Logan and everyone in Ball and Beats podcast. Thank you for letting me join you guys in this amazing journey that you guys have started here. I want to say congratulations for making it this far in the game. It's really crazy how far you guys have gone. And I want to thank you for letting me be part of it. It has been a great adventure and new thing to learn. I never thought I'd be part of a company production like this with you guys or with anyone. And I really want to say thank you for letting me be part of this. And I hope to see you guys go so far with this. I can't wait to see you guys in like 5 years and see how big this company has become. So thank you guys so much for letting me be part of this. I love you guys so much. Have a great and wonderful last show before you guys expand on this company as a whole. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Love you guys so much. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Welcome back to Ball and Beats, episode 137. After an abrupt, abrupt intro, I should say, is I am joined here, obviously, by Aaron and AJ and our studio coordinator. How are you?
I'm good. Happy to be here.
First appearance on the mound today and last appearance on the mound today. As we're going to be talking a little bit of baseball, as MLB is about a month into the season. Let's start with your guys' Cincinnati Reds real quick. Not in a bad spot. 16 and 15.
We're third
The
place.
NL Central, though, right now is owned by the Cubs.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I mean, did you expect anyone else to win? I guess besides the
Brewers.
Brewers, because they always find a way to win and then lose in the wild card every single year. But yeah, at the moment, I believe we're in third place. We're tied with the Brewers.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah,
And
mainly after that doubleheader loss yesterday.
yeah.
Yikes.
But I'm liking what I'm seeing from at least what Tito's doing. I think as the year has gone on, he's made better decisions. Everyone knows about it. As a Reds fan, if you're a Reds fan, you know about what happened opening day in Gabo. Did you? Oh, you were not able to watch that.
Oh,
were you?
I knew we already blew a game. Literally, the very first opening day, I knew we blew
There
the lead.
was, yeah. He made some pretty poor decisions out of the bullpen, but I think he kind of has a rhythm now with a couple of the guys.
Yeah.
We're 16 and 15 going into May, which I think is a solid spot for us. I didn't really expect us to have that big of like a jump, essentially, because the front office didn't really make too many moves.
Yeah.
Our backup catchers are the best thing we got going, besides like Ellie De La Cruz and Hunter Green.
Yeah. Jose Trevino, who
Hey,
needs
Gavin,
Ty-
Lu- Ga-
who
Gavin,
needs
Lu-
Tyler
Gavin
Gavin
Lux
Lux has
isn't
been
doing
good.
too
He-
bad.
Gavin
Lux and Ellie De La Cruz have been on like a 14-game hitting streak.
Wow.
And then Austin Hayes is pretty good when he's been healthy.
Yeah,
and
I
playing.
think he just tweaked his hamstring.
Yeah.
Which I think was the issue with him going into the season.
Yeah, I think it was. Like, yeah, he was injured going into the season because I don't think we had him opening day.
No, we didn't.
And then he started playing and was like, okay, he's getting some hits. And then it's back to being injured.
Our pitching has been a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I think our rotation.
Especially starting-wise, yes.
Our rotate. I
remember a couple years ago when the starting pitching was, man.
Yeah, that was.
Luckily, we had an offense. But now it's flipped.
It is flipped.
Shout out Trevor Bauer when he was a Red.
Cy Young
Young
winner.
Bauer about 5 years ago.
The state of Ohio owned the Cy Young Award when it was it 2020.
What was it,
Was
2020?
it 2020?
I
Because it was
think
Bauer and wasn't it Kluber?
Oh, it was Shane Bieber.
It was Bieber.
Shane
It was
Bieber,
Bieber
yeah.
and Bauer.
Wrong
the-
Guardian.
The COVID year.
Yeah, but Reds aren't doing too bad. But I gotta say, the biggest storyline of baseball to me, it's got to be the Mets. And I
Oh, yeah.
know your friend does not appreciate the New York Mets as he's a Braves fan. How's he doing with that?
I don't even think the Braves won the Cy-
How is he feeling knowing that his most hated player, Pete Alonso, is actually the NL MVP right now?
I think it hurts him a bit. Definitely. I haven't heard a lot of commotion about it. I think he's been distracted by other things, but definitely not happy about it like at all. So, he'll be all right. It'll be
be
fine.
okay.
The
you
Braves
know?
will be all right. I know
They'll be
they
fine.
lost to the Rockies yesterday, but
They did on his birthday too. It was a little.
oh
bit of
yeah, that's
a, it was a little bit of a sore note there, but yeah,
Twist of
no,
the knife,
they'll
yeah.
be all right. But I did kind of rub in his face that the Tigers have a new record. They're 19 wins before May for the first time in
Ever.
franchise history, which is
that's crazy to
huge.
think about.
Yeah. So I kind of was like, hey, look, you've had all these great years. Now it's
Yeah,
my
he's
time.
fine. He has a World Series.
Yeah.
They won a World Series 4 years ago. He doesn't even act like, he's an orphan where he doesn't have anything as a Braves fan.
Exactly.
They've won the NL East, except last year, like 6 straight years.
Yeah.
He's fine.
No. He's good.
The Braves will be fine. They came out. I mean, their pitching's been rough though. Their offense has gone off to a right start. I know Austin Riley's starting to come back into his own. He's really happy about Alex Verdugo.
Verdugo is like the household conversation right now. Totally try to get a lousy trade out of him the other day.
It worked.
It worked. He sent it to me and then you vetoed it. So, that happened. But
Well, I
no.
texted him. I'm like, are you good? He's like, no, veto that trade. He's like,
He's
it
like,
was a
just-
Look
It
at the
was a
lower thirds.
joke.
Look at the lower third, Spencer.
Tigers suck for real.
No,
The
they
Tiger-
don't. They're actually really good.
Yeah.
When you say the Tigers, you have to say the American League leading Detroit Tigers
Yeah.
at 19 and 12.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. You bandwagon fan. You're a Rays fan. Don't be trying to switch over to the Guardians. even then, why are you going from like the 30th payroll to 28th? Like, if you're gonna be a bandwagon, go to the Dodgers.
Go be like a Yankees fan.
Go be a
or
Yankees
something,
fan or
yeah.
something. Yeah, go be a team.
Go be a
That's where
Mets
Ellie's
fan,
gonna be in about
something
5
else.
years.
Ellie will be a Yankee within 5
Or a
years.
Dodger.
Or Dodger.
Yeah.
Or
Because we're
Mets.
just not gonna pay him.
Well, here's the thing. His contract is going to be more than what Castellini's net worth is going to be.
Yeah, but
I do have to ask your feelings on Baez because I also am a hater, but he's been doing really well this season. I can't.
Baez is fun.
I cannot be mad. I was
fan.
really
my
irritated that he moved to the outfield, but it actually worked out really well. He is not.
Screwball is not over it. Bro's just saying stuff to say stuff. He's better than anybody on Cleveland. Cleveland's starting
gosh.
pitching is not good.
But
I can't believe Javi Baez. I don't know what I can't believe more of that. Baez is doing good or Torkelson's doing good.
What
Yeah.
year are we in that Javier Baez is playing?
2016.
Paley back to
we're back in
2019?
2016 with the Cubs, although he's playing center field. And the worst part about it, not worse, he's actually doing really
He's
good
doing
in
really
center
well.
field.
He is.
I feel like a lot of these shortstops that has like speed and like arm strength do so much better than the outfield because the Padres did it with Fernando Tatis.
Look at Altuve, second base. Now he's playing left field.
yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that though.
I don't like it.
That one's
Yeah.
weird. That one's actually kind of weird. I've always wondered if the Reds would do that with Ellie at the same time. I was like, I wonder if they would put Ellie out there because we love to sign infielders.
I mean, there was a lot of people that wanted Ellie to move out.
I did
outfield
see that
because it was mostly because of the errors that he makes.
Yeah, because when you got Gavin Lux and then you could keep Matt McClain at short, there's like, okay, throw Ellie in the outfield. He will go run to every single ball.
Yeah, I mean, you have right now they have Gavin Lux playing left field, and Steer's injured, so he's just DH for the time being.
So I'm gonna go. Who are your guys' biggest disappointing teams so far? Each one of
Baltimore.
you. Yeah, I gotta agree with you there. The starting pitching in Baltimore has been unbelievably
Yeah.
terrible. Charlie Morton has finally hit his age.
Yeah.
He used to be. He was really good. When he was with the Braves, his old years. Now though, he's hit it. I mean, he's almost 40 years old, I think,
Yeah.
He's getting
if not already 40. Grayson Rodriguez is obviously out for a while. They don't have him. They have Tyler Eflin or whatever his name is. He
Yeah.
has like a 4 ERA.
He's on the IL right now too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then
There you
he's
go.
hurt. Yeah. I mean, the Orioles, here's my biggest thing is Baltimore kind of screwed it up this offseason. To me, it's as simple as re-signing Corbin Burns.
Yeah,
They have the
should've.
money. Baltimore, they have a leeway of all their young prospects to where they don't have to pay a lot of money to them. Jackson Holliday's up there. Obviously, you got Gunnar Henderson. Adley Rutschman's still on his rookie deal. I think your biggest paid player is probably Cedric Mullins. And they let Anthony Santander go. He hasn't been amazing in Toronto, but he's done enough. And the biggest thing, the Orioles, they look out of sorts. Their pitching isn't great, and the bottom half of their lineup isn't good. Gunnar Henderson's hitting like 220 right now. Adley Rutschman's hitting like 230. Their guys have kind of regressed. Their biggest prospects, their big pool of they had that kind of drive them to make the playoffs the last 2 years, they've all regressed. And I think that's my biggest takeaway. I got to agree with you. I think it's got to be Baltimore.
Anyone else have any?
Atlanta.
Atlanta's up
Atlanta-
there.
Yeah.
Atlanta's
I come on
slowly
for the
getting
AL and come on for the NL. The Atlanta Braves have no excuse. And I know pitching Spencer Strider back on the IL again. I know that they're starting, Schwellenbach hasn't been himself. The Braves offense, obviously, they're not healthy. They don't have Ronald Acuna Jr. They probably won't get him for another month or so. And even then, he was upset with Brian Snitker because they did something with an outfielder to where I don't remember what the whole story was. I just remember Acuna was tweeted out something, and it was something at Brian Snitker.
He didn't rush to first, and he just kind of gave up.
Yeah.
And he's
Something
like,
like
if that would have been me, I would have been taken out of the game.
Yeah.
Which, he was taken out of a game before for doing that. But
Yeah. And Sean Murphy, Austin Riley, Matt Olson, it's not like they don't have pieces. They still have, Ozzie Albies. I don't understand
he's
how
underperformed
Yeah.
severely this season.
I
So
don't-
has Ozuna, which has been shocking because he was one of the best hitters last year.
Yep.
But their entire their entire offense this year has just been really disappointing. And defensively, they're not even playing great either. So
No.
there's not a lot to show for the Braves right now. I don't know when it's gonna get better. I keep holding out hope, but I don't think anybody's really.
They're slowly getting there. They're
They
back to 2 games under 500. They're 14-16 right now at the time of this recording. I think the Braves will get back to over 500. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't think they win the division this year. I don't think
that's going to be a tough
And I'm going to be
division,
honest.
yeah.
I don't know if they make the playoffs
I would
because
say-
the way their division's going,
You got that.
the Mets are on an absolute tear. And he can
Yeah.
he can say the Mets are over Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso's hitting 350. He is the NL MVP right now. The Mets pitching has been an unbelievable surprise. You know, Kodai Senga, Tyler McGill, I mean, they have had a really solid rotation, which that was their biggest question mark coming into this season. They've all been pretty solid. And the Mets are the first team to 20 wins. They went on a 7-game winning streak. They swept the Cardinals. They swept the Phillies at home. They look like the team to beat, and obviously it's so early. I mean, we just got to May. We still got the dog days of summer. We still got September. There's a lot of changes that are going to be happening, but right now, I mean, the Mets are on an absolute tear.
It's hard to talk about early baseball because there's still like 130 games to play.
Yes.
We're only 30 games into the season. And yeah, you said Atlanta. I think Baltimore can turn it around potentially. Any one of these teams feel like they can turn it around within May, June, like you said, the dog days of summer. But I think Atlanta will be fine.
It is going to be tough,
They're
because even the
first-
NL West is a loaded
first,
division.
The Giants, out of nowhere again, are a really good team.
It's not even an
They
even
had
number
the best.
season.
They had the best record in like the first 2 weeks of the
You know,
season.
Ramos, Fitzgerald, Lamont Wade, Willie Adames. That team is hitting the ball really well. I think they're 19-11, something like that. They're tied with the Dodgers, if not right behind the Dodgers. The NL West is a gauntlet, and we knew that going in, though. The NL West was going to be one of the best divisions in baseball. You have the Diamondbacks, you have the Dodgers, you have the Giants. Obviously, the Rockies are not good, but then you have the Padres. Padres, another one of those teams that are up there with the Dodgers that are really good this year. There's a lot of storylines in that division. It's going to be really interesting to see who wins that. And speaking of winning, who's your guys' World Series winner right now?
Ooh.
I might have like divorce papers on the counter when I get home, but I honestly think the Mets have a really good chance at it this year.
Let's hope Eric listens to this episode.
Yeah, so I don't want to say it, obviously. Like I'm a huge Tigers fan, and as much as I want to say I think they can go with playoffs, and I think they can go far and do really well, but I think the Mets just have it in the bag this year. I mean, they're already playing so good. Like their
offense is
games.
Unstoppable right now.
Yeah. Like
they had 19 runs the other
I
day.
can't see them stopping unless they get a lot of injuries, which I never wish on a team, but I think the Mets have it. I don't know.
I will say Soto's been kind of to start his Mets. He's hitting around 230 right now. I think he'll get it turned around. I mean, he's got a long time. He's got 15 years to turn it around.
I'll say he's got a lot of money, so he's like,
he's got a lot of money. I don't think he cares too much.
I have a sneaking feeling that maybe the Padres can make a run.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with Dodgers pitching, I know they're quite injured at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's
It was
the
the
injuries are going to be the only thing that stops the Dodgers. And I do not want to say the Dodgers and be all vanilla, but like, yeah, the Dodgers are going to win it all because they spent $1 billion.
I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna say the Dodgers?
I'm gonna say that I know their pitching's injured, but I mean it felt like the same last year with the pitching. It was injured, but I do believe that really the only thing that's gonna stop the Dodgers is themselves being injured.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that roster, I swear it seems like if I went on an MLB The Show game, did a little fantasy draft, and I somehow took control of every team, so I wanted to pick all the best players. That's somehow what the Dodgers felt like did.
Yeah.
For me,
I do think the Tigers have.
I'm going to say it. The Tigers have a really good chance to win the World Series this year. And let me tell you why. This team's starting pitching staff is the best in baseball, and I don't want to hear any other argument. I don't. Chris Fetter is a wizard. Chris Fetter should be getting a blank paycheck. And for people who don't know who that is the Tigers pitching coach. Before he came here in 2021, this was the worst pitching staff in baseball. They were like 30th or 29th. I mean, they were throwing out Matt Boyd, and Matt Boyd had almost a 5 ERA. They had the ending years of Jordan Zimmerman. He had an infinity ERA. They were awful. And Tarek Skubal, still Tarek Skubal. Flaherty is really good, and he has stayed really good because Chris Fetter, I don't know what it is. I literally don't understand it, but Flaherty got worse when he went to the Dodgers last year. No shot? Okay. All right. Flaherty got worse when he went to the Dodgers. He's come back to Detroit. He has around a 3.5 ERA. Didn't have the greatest outing last time, but you're not always going to get 7 scoreless. Jackson Jobe, if he gets his control right, will be an elite starting pitcher. He has some of the greatest stuff. He's got a great screwball, a great changeup. It's a great sweeper as well. I think that he has a really good chance to be a 2 or a 3 with the Tigers. Casey Mize, another first overall pick from 2018. He's pitching lights out right now. He's pitching around a 2 ERA. And Reese Olson, another one of those guys. I mean, the Tigers have the best starting pitching
Even the
staff in
bullpen's
baseball.
not bad this year.
Yep.
I mean, really, they got it together.
Yeah.
So
Tommy Canley, Will Vest, Tyler Holton. I mean, this team had even John Brebbie had points. This team has weapons in that pitching staff. And offense, that's going to be their biggest question mark. But I will say, Torkelson is, I have to admit it, he's been damn good. He's regressed a little. He's been going downwards a little bit. He's hitting around 240 now, but he's been a hell of a lot better than he was last year. He is right now playing as one of the best first basemen in baseball. He has 8 home runs. He has 24 RBIs. He's hitting around a 240 average, which isn't amazing, but it's a hell of a lot better than his 205 last year. And Javi Baez is having a resurrection to his career.
We're in 2016,
which nobody thought was going to happen. Kerry Carpenter is just hitting home runs left and right. Riley Green just went 4 for 4 yesterday, and this team has so many injuries, and that's the crazy part. They don't have a center field. They don't have their center fielder. They don't have Parker Meadows. They don't have Matt Vierling. They don't have a ton of their guys that they rely on every day at bats. Wencel Perez, who had huge at bats for them in the postseason last year against Cleveland. I'm not counting out the Tigers. I can't, because they have surprised the hell out of me, to be completely honest. I thought this team would be good, maybe like around 500, and I know it's super early. They're 19-12 right now. They have so many injuries. This pitching staff is just working wonders for this team. And the offense is timely hitting, and that's all you can ask for. They don't have the best. They don't have like a bunch of star power. I'd argue they only have maybe one superstar in Tarek Skubal. They have a bunch of really solid young players in Riley Green. Torkelson's coming back out. Colt Keith needs to get it together, though. But I can't argue. I can't go against this team right now. I can't. And I know I'm going to sound like a homer, and I'm going to sound like, I'll probably get called out by Eric, and all this stuff. He says that the Tigers were a one-hit wonder last year. I can't go against them right now.
I really can't either. I feel like right now,
unless they get
the
more
other
injuries.
I mean,
more injuries
yeah.
if they didn't have enough.
AL to me, it seems like it's Tigers, and you could probably throw the Yankees in there because right now the Yankees just can't stop hitting home runs. I mean, as I speak, they probably just hit another one. I mean, that's what it feels like at this rate. I mean, what was it? 6 home runs? Not even that, a day
against. They were playing Baltimore, right?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, they had. Oh yeah, that's what it was. They had another game where their first 3 batters hit home runs again. The second they did that twice this season.
Yeah. And I will say one of the biggest things holding them back will be the defense. Defense hasn't been amazing. Trey Sweeney had 2 terrible
pitching
terrible
too
errors the other day. Jace Young has been decent at third base. And that's going to be the biggest thing. Errors, and defensively this team isn't the greatest, but if they hit the ball timely, and they're going to get great starting pitching the entire year if all their guys can stay healthy, I can't count out this team. I just can't. And they still are not even close to being healthy. Parker Meadows is a linchpin in that outfield. He is the guy in the outfield with Riley Green, and he's not available. I don't know when he's going to be available. Vierling plays every single position, like Zach McKinstry.
Zach McKinstry, though, I love him this year. He was a staple last year, too, but he's really come together.
He's come together,
he's like that super utility we needed.
Yep.
So.
He reminds me a lot of Vierling, like I said, and I can't count this team out. Logan behind, in the back. You can say what you want. You Rays or Guardians fan.
He's a Guardians fan.
Whatever you are.
He's a Jose Ramirez fan right now.
Ramirez fan.
Sure. This team's playing good baseball right now, and as much as I like the dog on Torkelson, and I loved and Javi Baez is one of the worst players of all time last year that I've seen on a baseball field. He's played really well. He's hitting around 300. He did a grand slam yesterday. I mean, what world are we living in? We all made fun of Torkelson last year because he was 0 for Forkelson. That's my fantasy baseball name. And I have to change it. I have to change it because he's been lights out. So
it's now 4 for Forkelson.
Not
Bias
yet.
for AL MVP.
That's a wild.
I just think the
Wow,
I just think the
that's-
AL
Hot take.
Central. The AL Central is the most fun division. To
Which is
sometimes
funny
watch in
because
baseball.
it's been terrible.
Yeah,
for
Yeah,
years.
it's been
That's
bad.
why it's always been fun for me to watch this because of all the teams that have been.
I remember years
atrocious.
ago, I was terrified of the Chicago White Sox.
Yep.
Terrified.
Wait,
And-
I got a
man.
question. I got a question for all of us.
Oh.
Who gets more wins by the end of the year, the Rockies or the White Sox?
White Sox.
You think
I
the
think
Dude,
the
White-
I ca-
Rockies.
Dude, I can't even name either of these teams to be completely honest. But
I'm pretty sure Chris Bryant's still on the Rockies.
Chris Bryant
thought
is
he got
still a
hurt.
Rocky.
I don't know.
I don't know if he's injured or not, but
I
I'm
don't-
pretty sure that man is
I
still
don't know,
on
Chris,
the roster.
Chris Bryant signed with the Rockies, hit one home run, and we've never
Like,
heard from him again.
The
Yeah.
reason why I will say the White Sox is because when opposing teams go to cores, they will hit home runs even if they're flyouts. That won't happen in Chicago, but both of these teams maybe win 45 games, maybe.
We need a
50.
best of 7
Best of
after
I-
the
like
World
I said,
Series between the two.
The 4th of July, we get Rockies and White Sox
Yep.
on prime time.
prime
Yes.
time.
That's
Probably
what we
not
were all
prime time,
watching
but
on
it's
the
good.
4th of July. When we celebrate America, we're going to be celebrating two of the worst baseball teams of all time, and two of the teams that have no direction or no future.
No.
So, yeah. So that's going to be our base. Anything
I was
else?
gonna say, what do you even do if you're the Rockies anyway? You're in such a stacked division.
You pray.
You pray.
You move to the.
I mean, this is time for a sneaky rebuild. Like, they have the absolute light for it right now. I mean, they can
sneaky
do it.
rebuild, but they're not gonna win anything. In
No,
20 years.
but I don't think their goal. I mean, 20 years, no, but I
They're not
think
winning
their
anything
goal right
anytime
now is
soon.
to win something in 5 years, and I think they can do it. But they just have to be smart about it. So they used to actually have a decent team.
Yeah, Colorado used
I
to be
mean,
fun to
years
watch.
ago, but
Nolan Arenado,
Charlie Blackmon, when he was so good.
Blackmon
Trevor
was really
Story,
good. Yep.
he was really great
He's
for
hitting
them.
he's hitting the baseball again. I forgot he was with Boston. He
Yeah.
signed that contract. Now he's finally
He did
healthy.
sign with Boston.
Man, I
Yeah,
wish
Boston
Bregman
was making a couple
Tiger.
big signs. 'Cause they also
I
got
wish so
Alex
bad.
Bregman.
They did get Bregman. Boston could be a
Unfortunately.
sneaky team. What's Boston's record right now?
I think they're 500.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think, I think
they're
like a game
around
or two,
500.
above 500.
Again, it's May, so it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. You know, it goes month by month.
It
so,
really does.
all right, that'll be our baseball segment here. When we come back, it is time for Aces Trivia. You're watching episode 137 of the Ball and Beats podcast. Don't go anywhere. Good job, producer.
Come on,
Oh,
Gregor.
brother, this guy stinks.
What's up, fellas? It's James here, man. I just want to say congratulations. You know, it's good stuff what you guys have been doing. And, you know, I appreciate you guys and, you know, all the conversations and talking about sports or movies, whatever, you know, I appreciate that from you guys, you know. So, you know, good luck moving forward. And Logan, the Heat suck, man. I hope you got the Kevin Love jersey because might be the only player that's on your team. But Mavs in 7, man.
So, as I was saying, Ball and Beats, man, I did that intro for you. I did also that outro. You know, very cool stuff that we did together. Ever since I left, hasn't been the same. Hasn't been real as funny as it when I was there and when other people were there. Just wasn't the same. But you know, that's cool because you know what? We the OGs. I mean, I'm not an OG, not like the other three of y'all. But you know, I am one of the OGs that made it on that intro. Out of everybody else. Anyways, happy birthday. Happy Kwanzaa. Merry Christmas to the Ball and Beats podcast. I know y'all about to do great things, man. Let's get it. Yeah.
We let the legs talk in, oh man. Put the perky in his hands up. But you know we more than friends, oh yeah. I'm tryna see what it shines, yeah, yeah. Let the legs talk in, oh man. Put the perky in his hands up. But you know we more than friends, oh yeah. I'm tryna see what it shines, yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to some ASA trivia. I'm here, back home, in the corn, and welcome back to episode 137 of the Ball and Beats podcast. Like I said, we're here with some ASA trivia, the final chance to win the Rizzler Cup. That's right. A lot of pressure for my fellow people here on the panel back in Toledo. And boys, how are we feeling today?
You know, we're feeling confident.
I do have to ask though, why are you in a second place state when it comes to corn?
Just wait. Just wait. We'll be back in number 1 here shortly, so it's all right. I don't appreciate that little slam, but it's okay. We'll be doing just fine.
It's just one of the other million state names that's actually number 1.
There you go. All right. So, boys, for today, and Jess, I have 16 questions here for you. We're doing a little bit of an extended cut because this could be a close race. So it's all up for the Rizzler Cup. I got one question for you guys to start us off. Are we ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Do we have to write yes to get a point?
Yeah.
No,
Can I write no?
right now.
And be like, what am I doing here?
What's your name?
So instead of going with just sports categories or just geography categories, we're going all across the board today with some mixed up, all over the place questions. So question number 1, we're going to get right into it. Who was the 2011 NBA MVP? About 30 seconds here.
Can I ask one question? You're talking about the 2011 season, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Who was the 2011 NBA MVP? Most valuable player. What a legend right here. One of my heroes growing up for sure.
Logan just saw my answer.
He's cheating.
I'm not.
Logan, do we need to already get you -1 point?
That's not
-1
true.
point already?
That is not true.
All right, we all good? We all got our answer?
Yeah.
Pencils down? All right. Jess, let's start off with you. Who do we think it was? We see a no from Jess already. Nobody. All right, let's go to Spencer.
I said D Rose.
D Rose. Logan.
Well, I have 3 answers, but I have the correct answer. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I promise. You can check the tapes. So I originally started to write LeBron. I'm like, that's not correct, obviously, because it wouldn't have been him in 2011. Then
James.
I remembered one dude, and I wrote his name, but I'm like, that's too early. Steve Nash won it earlier. Then it's like, it is Derrick Rose.
Oh,
that had to have been Derrick Rose.
Christian Demo.
Derrick Rose.
Aaron.
Derrick Rose.
The correct answer is Derrick Rose.
All right.
Everybody got a point except for Jess. Sorry, Jess.
I think Logan should be disqualified.
Yeah, I think he should actually
Steve
be getting
Nash.
points.
Hey, you know what? Comment down below, folks.
Yeah, let me know down in the
me know
comments
down
below. Does Logan get -1 point? All right.
Yes.
Very good start. All right. You guys ready? I'm here in the corn, and you already know what that means. Corn man right here for you. So we got a little bit of a
Diddly
Midwest
Papa.
question for you. If I'm from the Midwest and I use a bubbler, what did I just do? What did I just use? I use a bubbler. Real ones know this answer. Guys, there's nothing better than a good Thanksgiving meal, and you bring a nice hot dish. I just learned that people here use the word casserole. It's a hot dish. Guys,
It's a hot dish? It's a
Incredible.
hot dish?
That's a little too
Yeah.
literal of a term.
No, hey, you got to simplify it a little bit. Also, there's a game that you play in the summertime, and that's kind of a derogatory term where I'm from. You guys play cornhole. We don't use that word. It's bags.
It is corn.
bags.
I respect bags. I like bags.
Yeah, because cornhole is a rude term. You don't.
Why is that rude?
Yeah.
Well, that's where
Because
fecal
corn's
matter
I think
exits.
time limit.
Yeah, I think. Are we good? Pencils down. We all good? All right. Let's start with you, Aaron. What is a bubbler?
I do not know.
Okay, Christian.
It is a water fountain.
Logan.
I also said water fountain.
Spencer.
Something to do with food.
Jess. The correct term is when I get a sip from the water fountain, I'm using a bubbler. Water fountain is the correct
in
answer.
my entire
Yep.
life heard anybody say
Yeah.
that.
It's true. It is true.
I don't love the term, but I'm glad I got it right.
Yes.
Very good, very good. Hey, I'm proud of. We have a couple real Midwest
ball.
people
I know
here,
ball.
so very good job. All right,
We're gonna use the backside of this.
question
Save some
number 3. AOL was the web interface at the dawn of the internet. What does AOL stand for?
This is
30
a
seconds.
Stubborn Brother trivia classic question.
This is 100%.
Shout out Stubborn Brother Trivia.
Oh my gosh.
What does AOL stand for? The classic, you've got mail. 15 more seconds here.
Probably so wrong. I'm so wrong, but I'm guessing. It's a good shot in the dark.
All right, pencils down. Christian, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
What does AOL stand for?
Maybe my ball knowledge was a little on point here. American Online League.
There we go.
Okay. Logan.
Ironically, pretty close to his. I just said American Online.
All right.
Oh.
Spencer.
I kind of like that.
Automated online learning.
Jess. Aaron.
I want automated online logistics.
Oh.
The correct answer is America Online.
What? Wait.
Who got that right? Who put American Online?
I did.
He put American.
I'll give it to you,
Yeah, yeah.
Logan. I'll give it to you. That's pretty close.
I was so close.
Wow.
3 for 3.
AOL
Three
stands
for
for
3.
America
I am 3 for 3.
Online.
I know I'm gonna choke it away, but I'm 3
He
for
should
3.
be getting negative points for that first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
let-
he should be like at negative 2.
So if it comes down to it, we'll go back and we'll reconsider heavily.
All right.
Yeah,
What
okay.
we
Check
have.
the tape.
Yeah,
check the tape.
Yeah.
We'll see what we have. All right, my friends. Question number 4. What is the number 1 selling album of all time? The number 1 selling album of all time is what,
Number
gentlemen?
2 is.
Can I get a hint?
They get a genre.
Have I listened to this?
You have listened to this, and you hear it seasonally as well.
Oh.
There's a season you hear this album, and it's like, yep, you'll be like, oh man.
Is this the Grinch?
You're a mean one. Absolutely.
15 more seconds here. This shouldn't be a terribly hard question.
I don't think it is. Should be close. I think I
can't-
got it. I think
Hold
I'm
on,
going-
Jess. I can't read
I
it.
have no idea.
I'm confident. I'm confident.
All right, pencils are down. Jess, what do we have put down?
Mariah Carey's Christmas album.
That is incorrect.
Oh.
Spencer.
This is second all-time AC/DC Back in Black from 1980.
That is second of all time.
Yeah.
Logan.
Michael Jackson Thriller.
Christian.
I thought of the wrong season. I also went with All I Want for Christmas, the Mariah Carey album.
Aaron.
I went Christmas as well with Mariah Carey's
The correct
Christmas
answer
album.
is Thriller by Michael Jackson. It's the
same
number
with
one
those.
Forza!
album.
Throw them Forza!
I say,
Come on now.
Hey,
I
so
think
you're
there's a little
throwing
bit
us off.
about cheating involved here.
Absolutely
I got
not.
me and you thought the same holiday too. It's like,
Just because I'm the host doesn't mean I'm cheating, guys, all right?
All right,
oh no, it exactly means you're cheating.
my friends, we are a fourth of the way through Aces Trivia
Not a great
final
Thank God.
Not a great
episode. Guys, this has been an incredible Aces Trivia, and I just want to say I've been to the moon and back doing Aces Trivia, and
Literally.
let's just say that there's no place like home. Is this heaven? No, it's Iowa. And you're competing for the Rizzler Cup, a once-in-a-lifetime
Is this an ad
opportunity
break?
to win the cup. Guys, we have Logan, Spencer, and Andrew on this cup. And
All 3 winners, I believe.
all 3 have won the Rizzler Cup at one point. But today, Aaron's first time on. Jess has won the Rizzler Cup. Christian, you have been so close every time.
The Bills.
And let's just get a quick. He's the Bills. He's the Bills. Let's just get a quick score update here. Aaron, you have 1 point.
Yeah.
Christian, you have 2. Logan, you're in first place with 4 for 4. Call him Wendy's the way he goes at it. Spencer, you are in last with 1 point, as well as Jess. We have a 3-way tie for last place. Second place is Christian, and first place is Logan. Guys, we feeling froggy?
This is a familiar position for me, second place.
Okay, that's not bad. We're,
I already know where this is going. So
Shall we wait for Jess to come back, or should we just get right into question number 5?
Let's just get right into it.
Let's get right in. Let's get right in. She's walking right back in.
All right. For some Ball and Beats trivia here, guys. What episode did I make my on-camera debut of the Ball and Beats podcast? What episode number did I make? What number episode did I make my on-camera Ball and Beats debut?
Like a 3-episode leeway here.
I'll tell you what we talked about. It was MLB opening day of last year.
Okay.
That's your only hint. What episode number did I make my on-camera debut?
The funniest thing was I knew it was that episode. Now I just can't remember what number it was.
You guys record throughout the summer?
Yeah, we did.
We have to get exact. I don't want any leeway here.
No.
Okay.
Exact number.
I think I'm close. I think I'm close.
I think I'm close too.
All right. Hang on.
Well,
It's bad. We should know this too. We should be knowing this.
Well,
Yeah.
I know the area.
All
I
right.
don't know what exactly.
I got it.
all right, Spencer. Let's start with you.
I said 105.
All right, Logan.
No, it was earlier than that because I remember the timing. I think it was episode 99.
Christian.
One with 89.
Aaron.
I kind of forgot how many episodes there were, so I 112.
All right, and Jess. What's that? The correct answer is Logan. 99.
Wow.
So we don't have the answer. I promise that was such a guess.
He's got the script.
That was such a guess because I remember the timing of episode 100 and everything.
He's got the script. Let's be
wow,
honest.
let's go.
I remember because there was Ace
That's
up there
such
wearing
a
Cubs,
guess.
I'm wearing Reds, Spencer
Oh.
was wearing Tigers. Like
Y'all
I
have no
remember
idea.
the opening too.
I literally
because I was on the opening.
pulled that one out of you know what. I have no idea.
I
how
thought
to
Pulled
do
it
that.
out of his cornhole,
I thought it was
everybody.
after episode 100.
He pulled that answer out of his
Well,
cornhole.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
I did thought it was
I don't know
after
my own podcast. I
Logan
guess.
is looking pretty good here in the standings of Aces
I
Trivia.
say we form an
So,
alliance.
for question number 6,
Tag team.
when was the last time the Detroit Pistons had a 50-plus win season? What was the year when the last time the Pistons had a 50-plus win season? Silence all around the room. Brains are thinking, gears are turning. Jess, should we start with you? All right, Jess says 2001. Spencer, you said
2007.
Logan.
I also said 2007.
Christian.
One with the championship year 04.
Aaron.
2007.
The correct answer is the 2006-2007 season. Unfortunately, no one got that right because it had to be 06,
But wait, I
07.
said 2007. They won 50 games in 2007.
Okay, we'll give 2007.
I was thinking
So I guess you have no integrity. You
So
have
what,
no
we have-
integrity as a trivia host.
So we have Aaron, Christian, and Spencer.
No, me.
Yeah. Aaron,
No, he doesn't get it.
Aaron, wait, I'm sorry. Who? Raise your hand if you got that point.
If you
One,
give
two,
him
three,
2007,
you did not.
You said 04. You said 04. Yeah. Hey, you're talking about
it's
integrity?
2007.
You're talking about
let
integrity?
Spencer just
He's talking about
influence your
integrity. That is
decision?
not integrity right there.
Wow.
It's okay. They lost to the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals that year.
Aces
Logan, I'm
Trivia
impressed.
is
I'm
on Fraud Watch.
I'm
The
really
show is
impressed.
on Fraud Watch.
Logan is 6
why
for
it's getting
6.
This
taken
was
down.
the first year LeBron made the finals.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, boys and Jess, here's where we get a little obscure. Question number 7. What is the only letter that does not appear on the periodic table? What is the only letter that does not appear on the periodic table? We're going chemistry up in here. Call me Walter White, all right? Call me Walter White the way I got these chemistry questions for you. What is the only letter that does not appear on the periodic table of elements? Don't forget about your noble gases.
actual school stuff. This is where you throw me.
Don't forget.
This is where you throw me.
Don't forget about
All
your
right.
noble gases, my friends. I never took chemistry, by the way.
I think question number 7 is where.
I was supposed to take chemistry, but I guess they let me slide.
It was
so.
about 8. It was like 9 years ago since I took in chemistry.
Question number 7 is where you're gonna student
I also
me here,
guess need
sir.
to watch Breaking Bad.
It's a very good show.
Give me a countdown. What's
Okay,
our
let's go
time
with
at?
You're at 10 seconds left. 7, 6,
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, Aaron, let's start with you. What is the only letter that does not appear on the periodic table of elements?
I wrote V.
All right, Christian.
That was on my final top list. I went with U.
I also wrote V.
Okay.
I went with J.
J was also my top.
The correct answer is J.
Oh, let's go!
Jess and Spencer.
Let's go!
I wrote JVU. Went with U.
Gold.
I can confirm he
AU.
did right.
Yes,
J was
gold
his
is
first
AU.
letter actually on
Which
here.
one's Y? Which one is Y in it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I never took him.
So for all
You're
we
not
know,
missing out.
So we
You're
know
not missing
why.
out, I promise.
There's a Y.
Alrighty. Question number 8. Like I said, we're getting obscure here.
I'm pissed.
Mastisophis tenaeus is a scientific name for what animal?
Say that one more time.
again.
What?
Mastisophis tenaeus is a
let's
scientific
Am I allowed
name
to phone
All right,
Fred?
let's
What?
work together,
Can I
guys.
phone a friend?
Do any of us
I have a friend
any
who
idea?
would probably
Ace's
know
favorite
this.
Animal.
Ace's favorite animal?
That is a great question.
That's a great. That could have been a
But
great
it
Ace
is
of
not,
Trivia
the
question.
correct
Logan?
answer is not my favorite animal.
All
Logan
right,
can't call
anyone know
Hudson.
Latin?
He would know that.
He probably would know.
He
that.
would that. He would know this. Yes.
I'm just thinking based off the
Mastisophis
the first part,
tenaeus is the
mastis,
scientific
right?
name
Mastis?
for
Thinking
what
mastiff,
animal?
thinking
No.
mastodon, thinking you know.
Is this animal alive?
This animal is not extinct. This animal is very much still alive.
Is this
So then it's
animal
not.
alive?
Okay.
So it's not. So it's not like a Trans-Siberian tiger.
No.
Okay.
Trans-Siberian
dinosaur.
orchestra.
They're bringing
Oh no,
back
yeah,
the-
that's what I was thinking of the Siberian, like
yeah.
the
They're bringing back the
saber-toothed
direwolf.
tiger. That's
There
what
you
I
go.
was
Alrighty. Do we have any answers?
Yes.
I have.
If you put I don't know, I'm deducting a point. We need answers on this. So if anybody puts I don't know, Jess, you're excluded because that was the first question. So from here on out, I need an answer because if you don't provide an answer, -1 point.
Okay.
Just write Bupkis or something if you don't have it.
All right. Let's start with Logan. What is Mastisophis tenaeus?
I went with our friend in Dumbo, elephant.
An elephant. All right, Spencer.
You know, the 100 men versus 1 gorilla debate's going on right now, so I went with gorilla.
You know what? We're gonna have to dive into that. Okay.
Logan. Aaron. Sorry.
I just wrote. Is it some type of bird?
All right, and Christian.
I also same wavelength went with gorilla.
Unfortunately, the correct answer is a desert-striped whip snake.
Okay.
Oh, that was
So-
my
Can we all
second
just
guess.
get a point? Let's just all get a point.
So no points. No points on that one.
So, question: if I would have just
Shout
guessed
out the
snake,
desert-striped whip snake.
If I would have
am
gotten that
right?
right, would I have just won the?
You know what?
Yeah, if I
Right
guessed
here-
snake, would you actually give it as well?
Right
Or would I
here,
have been
photo of it because I don't know what you're talking about.
That's an automatic win.
All right, my friends.
Sound like Jim Nance. Hello, my friends.
What Colorado Canyon boasts the highest suspension bridge in the United States?
I don't like your questions.
What?
I don't
Okay,
like
Doug.
your questions.
I said we're getting a little obscure here.
So what? You need the name of the bridge?
Listen. What Colorado Canyon
What Colorado
boasts the highest suspension bridge
The
in the
Colorado
United
Canyon.
States?
You know what? Let's just all write the same answer down.
I mean, like, how would anyone know?
Like,
I said you just got to think a little bit.
Oh.
oh, okay.
Maybe not at all.
This is a perfect answer. Right?
Yeah, that's.
It's a
I think that Loki might be.
It has to be.
Yeah,
Right?
I'll throw a little variation of it, Logan.
This has to be the answer, right?
10 seconds.
Is it the desert whip snake or whatever he says? It's like,
All right. What Colorado Canyon boasts the highest suspension bridge in the United States? Spencer.
the Colorado Canyon.
Logan.
The Colorado Canyon.
Christian.
Went with Desert Canyon.
Aaron.
I went with Denver Canyon.
Oh.
Jess. The correct answer is the Royal Gorge.
Dude, all right.
So you think if we thought about it a little bit, we could have gotten that?
Perhaps.
Perchance.
All right. Now, Aaron,
This is
you
this
might
is
have a
fr-
slight
fraud.
disadvantage. because we're getting into the personal trivia here. And Aaron, you were the only person who I did not know was going to even be on the show today, but I'm honored that you are a part of ASA Trivia. Your colors kind of match my background, so I appreciate that. All right. The first NFL game Logan ever went to, what two teams were playing?
Are you kidding me?
Wait. He shouldn't be able to answer this.
Logan, Logan.
No answer?
No
That's
answer.
Yeah, he shouldn't be
If
able to answer
it is your
that.
personal question.
That's fair.
you
I
do
know
not
the
get to
Ohio
answer.
State game. We just talked
That's
about it
fair.
the other day.
What was the
That's
first-
very fair. And I give the answer. That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
Yep, you give the answer.
Who were they playing?
What? I'm sorry. The first NFL game Logan ever went to, what two teams were playing?
Are you giving out the answer?
Looking for two NFL teams.
I guess a part of the answer.
I think I know one of them. I just can't think of the other. Oh, screw it. Let's just.
Fraudulent trivia show.
Hey, I'd like to see you get up here and do better.
What? Okay, can we get a year?
2013, September 22nd of 2013.
All right.
Correct. That is
Let's
correct.
see.
Game September 22nd.
Yeah, who'd
All
the
right.
Browns play that day?
Christian, let's start with you, my friend. What two teams were playing at Logan's first NFL game?
I went with America's team, the Dallas Cowboys and the Cleveland Browns.
All right, Aaron.
I wrote Cowboys versus Browns.
I wrote Lions and Browns because I have no idea.
Jess.
I think they're cheating, but I said Browns and Steelers.
Okay, I would like to say I wrote
I'll
this
give
down
you
before.
boys a point because Logan, what teams were playing?
So the correct answer is Cleveland was not involved. Cleveland was not involved at all. I happened to be in this great city of Dallas, Texas, where I had family
I knew that.
who lived in Dallas, and I went to a Dallas Cowboys versus St. Louis Rams football game.
Who won?
Sam Bradford was the quarterback at the time. Robert Quinn, Chris Long on that
Hey,
defense. DeMarco
Logan-
Murray ran 175 yards that day.
Logan, do we say that we give Christian and Aaron a point?
We do. We give them a point. They included
What?
the Cowboys.
Logan, I actually knew the Cowboys. The first team I wrote down was
Dallas-
Cowboys.
Dallas won that
I knew
game.
the
Why
Cowboys.
did they get a
part.
point, but I don't? They didn't
right.
get it right.
But they got the Cowboys.
But that doesn't matter. They didn't get the Rams.
I knew it was in Dallas.
If you're giving out points just for half, I should get something.
Sanctity of
For
the
what?
show because I have some
Because I
integrity.
guessed. So did they. They didn't get the whole thing right.
Give them half a point.
No,
No.
don't
This
give me
isn't
give me
fair.
They
a
get a full point. They get a full point.
Don't
They
give
get
me
a-
We're
a-
giving out pity points
Hey,
now.
I
hey,
did not
hey,
need to cheat for the
You're
Cowboys.
talking
I
back,
knew the Cowboys.
talking back to the host. You know what he gets? He could get minus a point. You don't talk back to the host. You don't talk back.
deduct a point from my score.
No.
This is rigged.
All right.
I did know Cowboys.
Okay.
Though. I remember you talking to me about that.
Alrighty.
Cowboys won 31-7.
I only knew. I was like
5
walking.
questions left here. We have
Oh, wow, we still got
Spencer?
a while to go.
no answer here. What is Spencer's favorite food?
I talk about this all the time.
Nothing. Nothing. He likes absolutely
Here.
nothing.
I know it's
it's
funny.
gotta be
Eric
like
the
would know, 'cause I
whitest
tried to get him to
thing.
go to a place with this one time.
And Spencer, you will answer the question when I say.
Why did he say no?
Probably because he was like saying, "Oh, you didn't want him to," or something. I don't know.
Wow.
He
Jess,
uses- he
really?
uses you
Are
for
you
an
kidding
excuse.
me, Jess?
He uses you for an excuse to get him out because I've tried getting him to hang out.
AJ, I love my
Come
answer,
over
by
for
the way.
the draft.
I-
Come
this
over
answer is
for,
awesome.
fantasy stuff, but
We have a phone a friend here. AJ Perry is up to bat. You just show. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's okay. That's okay. He hasn't used the phone a friend yet.
Is that available?
Only for the Gramps. Only for Aaron.
phone a friend, just phone to me.
Alrighty. Let's start with you, Logan. What is Spencer's favorite food?
One thing I do know about Spencer is, well, there's a couple things when it comes to food. One, he hates like any condiment whatsoever.
That's false.
It's basic. He's
That's
basic.
false. Barbecue sauce.
Any
That's false.
taco, it's just meat and cheese and maybe rice at that. Another thing I know about this man is he loves himself some seafood though. So I went out on a limb and just picked a specific type of fish. I don't know if it's gonna be right or not. I said walleye.
All right, Christian.
One thing about Spence, he loves himself some Wingstop.
I do.
With wings.
I do love wings.
Aaron.
Spencer went to 2 taco a lot, so I wrote tacos with beef and cheese only.
There you go. And Jess.
When I would go,
Tacos. What's the correct answer, Spencer?
Logan was so close. He was in the right category, but my favorite food that I could eat 10 clusters of his crab legs.
Okay.
Crab legs is the correct
Crab
answer.
legs are
No points, unfortunately, that round. You guys need to hang out with Spencer just a little bit more.
I guess so.
All right.
Logan got it almost.
Question number 12. What year did Jess get married? Jess, unfortunately, you cannot answer this question.
Oh, shit. Which one?
What year did Jess get married?
Am I allowed to cheat for this answer?
Absolutely not. You cannot phone a friend for this.
Jess, what year did you get married?
Do we have answers, everybody?
Yes.
Go ahead, Jess.
Oh, you're just
Go
gonna.
ahead. You're just gonna have her
We're
say
not
it?
gonna guess.
We're not gonna.
Yeah, we should probably guess, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
We probably should as a
Aaron,
good trivia.
what year did Jess get married?
I would like to say I literally just met just today. So I wrote 2018.
Christian.
Wrote 2021.
Logan.
I don't know, but I think I may be close. 2023.
And
2023.
Jess, what is the correct answer?
2022.
Correct answer is 2022.
Great year.
Sorry.
Great year.
Sorry, friends.
It's rough.
All right.
That's just real deep.
Now, Christian, I will let you answer this question because
Okay.
this is a deep cut.
Okay.
Wait a
This
minute.
is a deep cut Christian question.
Oh, I love
Wait,
this.
but that's not fair.
Yes,
No,
it
it's
is.
very fair
Dude,
because
I
it's
got, like,
also
I have 1 point.
It's also a
So
ball
do
and
I.
beats. It's also a ball and beats trivia question,
Well,
and that's why he could answer this.
Okay.
Okay. What was the name of Christian's TikTok hater?
Oh no!
I had many.
What was your
I had
hot
many.
take, Christian?
I had many.
You had many.
We had
TikTok
one
haters.
that kept commenting, kept bashing the Ball and Beats podcast.
Yeah, the ratio on that TikTok is nuts.
I'll say it's got to be
Christian.
about the one with the glorified
Christian,
microwaves
what
in
was
the
your
air fryer.
hot
Yes.
take that started this whole controversy?
So, back in the day, we used to have a hot take segment on the show.
Yes, we did.
And one week, I went off on a tirade about none other than air fryers and about my disdain for them and how they suck. And posted on the TikTok. It was our most viral video. Very thankful for everyone who liked and commented, but not a ton of likes. But
TikTok stopped promoting the video because of how much hate comment it had.
Yeah.
If all the hate comments weren't on there, that TikTok would probably have a lot more.
racial stuff, anything under the sun.
It was bad.
So then, my friends, I ask you, what was the name of Christian's hot take?
To be
TikTok
fair, I do not know
hater?
the answer to this question.
Can we just say first name, or are we talking like username?
We're talking name.
Name. Okay.
Name. Jess, you were not here at the time, so this is kind of
She's scrolling back on the TikTok.
all right.
I have audio.
Let's start with you, Jess.
Ryan is a hater. Just the name.
Ooh, I like that answer.
All right, Spencer.
I went with Deshaun Watson.
All right, Logan.
I think it's Daniel.
Ooh, that might be one. I said Tanner.
Aaron.
I wrote air fryer lover 69.
Okay.
Okay.
Not a bad answer.
Guys, and if you're watching this, Ryan Hennessy.
Oh, it is Ryan Hennessy! That's right, it is Ryan
Oh my
Hennessy!
gosh, you got
it
the
right.
point.
Oh my God.
His name was Ryan Hennessy.
That's right.
And
Oh
on
my
the
God.
Javen,
That's
on the
a-
Javen Simmons episode, we said
Yes.
Shout
out
out
Ryan
Ryan
Hennessy.
Yeah, that is such a poll.
I think she
and
should
and
win.
Ryan Hennessy
that
said
should be an automatic
Ryan
win.
Hennessy, what started this
That
whole
should get the
beef,
Rizzlers Cup for that.
said, "What a terrible take. Not everyone should have a podcast."
Correct.
Shout out.
Shout out Ryan Hennessy.
What did AJ?
He literally just did say, "This is why not everyone should be allowed."
Do you mind if I read a couple of these comments?
Don't read all of them because we probably can't. but
The air fryer is a high efficiency convection oven. That was a comment
That
by
is the
Socks on Carpet. And then Ryan Hennessy said, "This is why not everyone should be allowed a podcast," which got 27 replies. A couple of those replies said, Ball and Beats commented, "Heard." And Ryan Hennessy said, "Doubt it." And then he said, he's definitely mad if you wouldn't have replied. And then Ryan Hennessy said, "I know I cry for help when I hear one." I'm single-handedly keeping this podcast afloat. And then Ryan Hennessy said,
Spencer
"You're
was
so
a
pissed."
comment warrior in those comments.
Spencer was.
I know you guys need it badly. And Spencer said, "Thanks for the comment, bro. Keep the interactions up. Really helps us out." Ryan Hennessy said, "Kind of weird that 80 other people agree with me, no?"
Dude, Ryan might be obsessed.
And then
with
Ryan
this.
Hennessy said, "Oh no, here comes backup because 2K Dilly said Ryan just mad because we got more interactions than he does on his TikTok. Who let this man speak?" Spencer
Shout out
said
2K Dilly.
that makes absolutely no sense, but keep commenting. I love it. Ryan Hennessy said, "Are next week's topics easy bake ovens and Play-Doh?" And Ball and Beats said, "You'll get credit on the next episode," which he did.
Yeah.
Ryan Hennessy, we still have beef with you on the Ball and Beats podcast.
Little does he know, he probably has no idea we just talk like sports. It just the hot take segment was about air fryers that day.
That segment was purely for the clips.
Oh, it was. That
Yes.
segment was purely for clips, and guess what?
It worked.
It worked.
So shout out Ryan Hennessy. That you gotta admit, that's a pretty dang good question.
It was. It was a
Good
great
question.
question.
Good question.
Great
The
question.
sanctity of this show is back.
All right,
Until this question.
3
right?
questions left.
All right. Score update.
Logan with 6, Aaron, Christian, and Spencer with 3, and Jess with 2.
Yeah, I feel like she
She
should
should get a
say
few
that
more
was-
for that. That's
I'll give her a point just
You
to.
know what?
We'll have a
These
four-way tie.
these last 3 questions worth double points.
Deal, because
Dude,
unfortunately,
Asa just willing to let anything fly on
this is the last.
What if you guys get them right and
This
I
is
get
the last
them wrong?
Asa trivia. All right. Question 14. What is the oldest football club in the world?
We talking? You said club, so we talking?
What is the
Footy?
oldest football club in the world?
soccer.
Soccer.
There's a word that gives it away.
Club.
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 I was like,
Okay, so we know that we're talking about that football. What is the oldest one in the world? Don't think too hard. Just think, I'll let you know what country, and that would be England.
Okay.
You would find this club in England. And don't think too hard, but also think a little bit.
Don't think too hard, but just a tad.
Tad bit. I'll give you the city. It doesn't have to be the entire name, because I mean, it's blank football club, the classic FC. Every team pretty much has the FC, you know. So if you just give me the city, I'll give you that. And if you give me the year, I will give you
The win.
2 extra points.
That was
Don't
a pretty
listen to
loud
Andrew.
whisper.
Do not listen to
Let's
Andrew.
just say.
All right, my friends. The year will give you 2 extra points. And
We haven't talked footy on
the
here in a hot
team,
minute.
the city, will give you 2 points as well. What is the oldest football club in the world, Christian?
With Arsenal.
Screw Arsenal.
Aaron.
Great.
wrote Manchester, and then wrote 1856.
Jess?
I said Manchester.
What year?
I didn't put year.
City or United?
I said the London Football Club, 1873.
Logan.
I don't know if I'm right. I feel like this is close. I went with Burnley. 1857.
What was the year?
1857.
The year is correct.
Whoa.
So I'll give you 2 points for the year.
What? I was 1 year off. You gotta get the team and then
the
if
year.
you get the year.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
So give me 1 point.
You
said you had
to get a team and then the
rules are.
All right. Correct answer is Sheffield FC.
Oh, it is Sheffield FC. So Sheffield United.
1857. And Logan, I'm really proud that you got the year, because it's hard to just pull a year out of your cornhole.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you a point.
That's ridiculous.
Man, I pulled 1856.
I think that's
out.
fair.
I was only off by 1 year.
It's like,
I think
you
that's
get
fair.
a point. You get a point.
I think that's
Spencer,
fair.
I was off by 1 year.
Dang.
That's
Whatever,
fair.
bro.
Call me Oprah Winfrey, the way I just be giving things out. All right, my friends. Good luck. LO is the American Association of Railroads class code for what type of car?
What?
LO is the American Association of Railroads class code for what type of train car?
I know one.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
When you're writing these questions, you write them. Oh yeah, they're gonna get this one.
No, and that's why I write them down. It's because you're learning. You will never forget these trivia questions.
Exactly.
You will always know for some reason that you know the LO American Association of Railroads class code for this type of cars. You'll always know that.
Exactly.
So,
Thank
Spencer,
you.
I see you're still writing. And so when you're done, you can start.
I'm done.
Go ahead.
I wrote the Bears still suck.
Minus a point, guys? Is that what you think? Logan.
Boxcar.
Christian.
Went with the only one I know, caboose.
Aaron.
How about steam powered?
Jess. Guys, come on. The correct answer is the covered hopper.
Duh.
Next. Next.
Okay.
All right.
Wrong.
Before our last question, we're going to do a personal ASA question
Oh my god.
worth 5 points.
Oh boy.
Okay.
All right. As you can see, I'm standing here in corn. I was not born in Iowa. What city and state was I born in? What city
Region.
and state was I born in?
Region, please.
You can still think corn. What city and state was I born in? Unfortunately, guys, I'm not from Iowa. All my family is from Iowa. I grew up in Iowa every single summer. I go to Iowa every summer. I go to Iowa multiple times a year. It's where grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles are from. In fact, this is a crazy fact as well. Guys, I'm the only person in my family ever since they came to the United States that was not born in Iowa. I'm the black sheep of the family. Only person since my family came to Iowa that was not born in Iowa. So Aaron, let's start with you. What city and state was I born in?
I just wrote Champaign, Illinois.
Jess? If I was from Nebraska, I would not love Iowa.
Chicago, Illinois.
Let's go with Christian.
Kansas City, Missouri.
And
I think I have the correct answer. I think it's Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
The correct answer is Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I was born in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, in Minnehaha County. Incredible. 5 points. That might just won the game.
I don't have the script.
How about the next
I know
question's
it.
worth 10 points?
Next question.
No, Spencer, us three all work together on the next question.
Combine their
Logan
scores.
has 12 points. Christian, Aaron, Spencer, and Jess with 3.
All right.
So here's the deal.
Let's all work together here.
Yeah.
This last question, just to make it a tight race, is worth 10 points.
Okay.
So you guys could all win if you guys get this question correct.
Come on.
The Southern...
No.
All right, guys. You know how I just talked about the covered hopper and trains?
Oh my god.
No.
The Southern Railway was organized by what financier?
What?
Think of
Like-
Industrial Revolution. Think of big names in the United States. You know, you have your
So this is a person.
J.D. Rockefeller. You have your Rockefellers. Think of big names in United States history.
Bro,
big
Guys,
money
I'm
names.
gonna be honest. I
Think
think
big
I
money
might know
names
it.
here.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It is a person.
Oh, never mind.
It is a person.
Awesome.
I don't know it.
You have your Rockefellers, you have your all these other big names. Guys, this is a big name in terms of American Industrial Revolution. You know, you think of big cities,
Maybe it is a person.
you think of whatever. It is a
I think
person.
it might be 2 people.
The Southern Railway was organized by what financier? Who financed the Southern Railway? And this is not a hard question
It's
at
a
all.
ridiculous
If
question.
you know your
It is
American
an
history,
absolutely ridiculous
it's not.
question.
If you know your American
be Rocket-
history,
I don't
if
think
you
it's
know your
Rockefeller
big
'cause
money
he's used that
people
name, so that
way back
puts him
when, you should be able to get this correct.
I think I'm in the ballpark.
Aaron, let's start with you.
I wrote Andrew Carnegie.
That is a great guess. Christian.
Mr. Monopoly.
Not bad. Logan.
I went with J.P. Morgan.
Spencer.
Wells Fargo.
Jess. Correct answer is J.P. Morgan.
Oh, that's who I thought of
Logan,
second.
come over here to Iowa, my friend.
I mean, this was a coordinated
You
effort.
missed.
There was no way.
Two questions.
Logan
This seems rigged.
No,
in
when you
Ace
showed
Trivia.
me Wells Fargo,
Two
I thought I
questions
was like,
in Ace of Trivia.
that could've been
Guys,
JP
it is my
Morgan.
absolute pleasure
Logan knows
to
nothing
award
about
the final
anything other than
This
sports.
is rigged.
Rizzler Cup. Hey,
It's rigged.
Hey, we're having a ceremony up here. This is the
Let's
final Rizzler
overtake
Cup
this.
trophy award. And it goes to a man who not only dominated the sport, but just absolutely obliterated Ace of Trivia for the final time. Logan, I award you with the Rizzler Cup. And who, this is ironic, who is on the top of the bottle?
Exactly.
On the other side.
It's rigged.
Logan McCrory himself.
It's me.
That looked weird.
Congratulations.
Everyone,
Everyone, thank you so much. Logan, I'll give you the mic because, my friends, something incredible has just happened. Give me one moment.
I knew it was coordinated. How does it feel to win under no pride?
It's funny because they think it's rigged. This wasn't rigged at all. The only thing I knew was the question that they asked for me personally. So
J.P. Morgan.
it feels so good. We've had a lot of fun, here on this beautiful podcast, and Ace of Trivia has been a great segment. We've had just a lot of fun with everyone here. Everyone over here is salty that I happened to win the last one.
It was coordinated.
I know Christian's
At
just
least
mad that
make
he
it believable.
It is.
Don't ask
This
a
is.
JP.
I literally guessed.
throw a
Okay,
question every
y'all
now
have
and again.
no idea. I literally just guessed all of these. They don't believe me, guys. They don't believe me.
Sure.
But it's okay.
J.P. Morgan.
As Asa
I'll
has,
never be over
look,
that.
Asa somehow.
The worst part is I bank with Chase.
Asa has somehow made his way over to
Quick. That was really fast.
studio in Toledo, Ohio.
Yeah.
But I just gotta say, thank you to Asa for always putting this together. This is fun. I want to thank everybody here that's been on this set for just an amazing show, an amazing time that we've had doing this.
Can I give a couple shout outs?
Absolutely.
So if we're wrapping this podcast up just a little bit, it might be put on hold for a moment. We want to thank some people who've been here for forever. Okay. Aaron, integral part of this podcast. AJ, integral part of this podcast. The other AJ behind the camera, integral part of this podcast. You got Christian right here.
Thank you.
Legendary. 2K Dilly. Legendary. Kevin O'Corn, thank you for all the production that you put into. Spencer, incredible. Andrew, Cam, everyone who's put their time and effort into this podcast, showing up week in and week out. Jess, another coordinator, we thank you so much. But the man who made it happen, who put us on camera, who did everything, we got to give it to the one and Alan. Alan Woodson.
Alan Woodson,
Alan and Caleb.
Shout out to
Caleb
Detroit.
is
Shout
one.
out Caleb Jordan,
Caleb
OG
Jordan.
member.
Caleb was the founding member.
But the man who really put all of his effort in, who did it week in, week out, made sure everything was running smoothly, the one and only Logan McCrory.
Appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you. We've had a lot of fun doing this. We've done a lot of stuff here at UT, outside of even just this podcast as well. A lot of fun we've done here. And the memories we've made here has been absolutely outstanding. Thing is, me and Spencer, we have some stuff in the works. We're not done. We're not done, folks. We're actually just starting. Don't worry. But this is wrapping up here, this beautiful set that we've had and beautiful show that we've done. First 94 episodes of audio only.
Yep.
Moving to this TV studio for episode 95 in the spring of last semester. We've had a whole year now in this TV studio. It's been amazing. It's been fun. It feels surreal, We've done a lot. We've had a lot of fun conversations, the hours we've done. Our last episode was our longest episode we've ever had, over 3 hours long.
Crazy.
The amount of time we've put into this. 137 episodes, each one roughly 45, 50 minutes or longer. So think about the amount of time we've spent doing this. Just yapping. It's been amazing. It's been fun. It's been some of the best things I've ever done in my life.
Yep.
most fun I've had. Anything from you guys as well?
It was fun from episode 1 to 137.
Thanks for letting me be a part of it towards the end. I really had a good time. I appreciate the experience.
Yeah, I'll say just kind of joined in. It was fun while it lasted. Because I don't live here.
It's fun while it lasted.
I'm old and graduated a long time ago, but Logan, appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, had a lot of episodes.
All right. Had a lot of fun episodes, a lot of
From starting out that little
conversations.
studio.
From episode
Talking about the Browns and the Lions for an hour.
episode 1 to episode 137, it's been a lot of fun and a fun ride, but just because this train might derail right here doesn't mean that another train ain't coming with us shortly.
Shout out to Covered Hopper.
Shout out to Covered Hopper. Hey, B&B as a brand ain't going nowhere, though. That's one thing we got to tell y'all. Y'all got to keep an eye out. We've got announcements coming up here in the next couple weeks. We'll have to see how everything works out, but B&B's not going nowhere. Me and Spencer, we've got some things in the works outside of here, and we're going to have a lot of fun. You know, it's just really the start. It's just really the start. You know, so for everyone here and everyone that's helped out in the past, all the names mentioned, and not even mentioned as well, other people with cameos, Anthony Krushka, Jeremiah Jefferson as well.
Shout out all the interviewees.
Shout out all the interviews and Dante Maddox Jr., Raheem Moss,
Ray J.
I'm about to say Quinyon Mitchell, Quenisha Lockett, and Ray J. Dennis. You know, everyone we've interviewed. Thank you for that. And everybody else that's been a part of it that we have yet to name yet. Thank you as well. And for everyone here, we're signing off. This has been the Ball and Beats podcast. Take care.